Right, I'm sorry that we're late, guys. For whatever reason, we did start, and believe it or not, it then was still showing to go live. So we're trying again with round two. Let me know if you're, well, I can't say let me know if you're not receiving this because you won't know, will you? You won't know that I'm saying anything. Am I live?
Yep, we're now live.
We're now live. That's fantastic. Right. Apologies. Here we are. As you know, I'm Gareth, your Cosmic Toyman, and this is my first live stream. Off we go. This is Ed here from Bolts of Iacon. Ed, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right, okay, here we go. What do we say? Right, okay, I'm Ed. I'm from the north of England. Too close to, believe it or not with the accent, too close to 50, but you know what you can do about that, that's be right. And the Vaults of Icon as a thing has been pretty much since about 98, 99 as a thing, but it didn't get a web presence until 2005. And it's just gone from there. The website itself's been under probably about 5, 6, maybe 7 different iterations and designs. It shut down for a brief period. It came back again. It's on Facebook. It's now on YouTube, and it's on Instagram. Mainly on Instagram because it's mainly photographic stuff that I do. But I am branching out into video now.
Okay, and what videos are you doing, and where can people find that?
Right. Well, YouTube channel's just Vaults of Iacon. And the videos that I'm doing, they started off as just being reels from Instagram. So I'd do a reel on Instagram, and it would just go and upload. What's that? Am I reflecting, am I?
No. A viewer has just commented that he's realised that we are both bald.
Yes, some are more bald than others.
I've got fuzz.
But you have a monk spot.
I do have a monk spot, yes.
There we go. So, because that halo thing that you can see at the background, that's actually the reflection off your head. It's not actually a circular lamp.
That's right, yes.
What were I saying? Oh, yeah, reels. Yeah, so the video stuff just started as shorts on YouTube, and it was the stuff that I'd posted on Instagram. But then I just started messing about with other stuff like stories, and then during lockdown, I decided I'd come up with an idea. Just this idea. It was just a title. It was the Collector's Archive. It was just a title, and I didn't know what to do with it, and it just sat on my notepad for a while. I didn't do anything. But then as lockdown went on, I just thought, well, maybe I'd like to try and get into video content. So I had a thought of what I could do. Now, my collection or my collecting at the moment is pretty much done. I just buy to replace or to upgrade. So when I went back and looked at this Collector's Archive thing, I thought, right, okay, well, I could collect the collector's experience. And I thought that'll be, it'll be kind of short interviews with fellow collectors, asking them about what motivates them and what brought them to collecting in the first place. And that's how it started, so that's how the Collector's Archive was born. I know I am, because I'm still editing it. I'm on my 8th episode editing, which will go live tomorrow evening at 8:30 on the Vaults of Icon YouTube channel. That's going to be a 2-parter, because the original recording length of that was about 3.5 hours. So I decided to chop it up into 2, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have seasons. So the episode that goes live tomorrow will be the final episode of season 1, because I'm doing 8 episodes per season. So then I may have a break next week, and then the week after then start with season 2, and it'll be another 8 episodes. Godzilla's. So yeah, so that's
to interact with the viewers at the same time.
Yes, I know. I can see all the stuff here. I need to jump on that. But so that's what Vaults of Icon is doing at the moment.
Brilliant. Just responding to Gap. Yes, this is live. Yes. Okay.
Yes, we are live.
So expect things to go wrong. This is my first rodeo. And I'm likely to fall off that cow.
What's that, Excelsior? Yes, sounds like I might be season 2 content. Yes, you are. You will be season 2. Excelsior's Domain. Yes, you'll be season 2. It's funny actually, because I was watching one of his videos today, and it was one I started watching a while ago. It was the Zoids comic one.
Oh yes.
And I went back to finish off watching it. And as I was sat watching it, I thought, I'm sure I've interviewed this guy for Vaults of Icon, for Collector's Archive. I thought, so I opened a spreadsheet up and I was looking out. I thought, oh yeah, he's there, yeah, right, yeah. So, because like I say, I've done that many at the moment. It'll take me through to probably mid-August. So I've done quite a few, and I'm circling round a few more other people as well to talk to, because I want to try and get a good broad range of people to talk to. Because at the moment, they have tended to be quite Transformer centric, with the exceptions of one or two.
Yeah.
Now, it's great. I mean, I could sit and listen to these people all day, but I'm just conscious that for other people watching, I want to try and mix it up a bit. So I think we've got some chats about Zoids, we've got some chats about Action Force, there's some chat about Star Trek, so I want to try and mix it up a bit. So, people who know where I am and who know how to get in touch with me on Instagram and stuff like that, if they want to take part, or if they know of anyone that they think might want to take part, just shoot me a message and, we'll sort something out.
I think the reason why yours have been mostly Transformers centric, at least up till now, is probably because being a Transformer collector yourself, that's who you've been interacting with online, it's who you've been following, it's who's been following you.
Yeah, so it is, yeah.
The people are more receptive to what you've got to offer and ask.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And a lot of them as well, a lot of the people that I've been speaking to, I have prior knowledge or relationships with anyway. I've spoken to them off camera, either via call or text and things like that. I mean, this week's episode, Sven Harvey from Geekology, known him for years, and so it was just a case of, do you want to come on and do this, Sven? And he was like, yeah, that'll be cool. So it's been helpful in that respect, easing me into it, because it's not something I'm used to. I'm used to just being behind the camera and taking photos and enjoying doing that. So it's been way out of my comfort zone.
We've got quite an interesting question here.
Right.
How did you meet?
How did we meet?
Well, it was one really sunny afternoon, and this ping went off on my phone and my Grindr notification. Eddie's been a friend of mine for almost 20 years, I would say, and very
probably more than that, actually.
To that, he started buying toys off me on our local second-hand market, which was the Friday market in Dewsbury, and was it an Ultra Magnus? I believe it was a G1 Ultra Magnus you first saw on the stall.
It's possible, yeah. It's possible. I mean, I've had that much off you over the years. It's hard to tell. I mean, I know. I think the first figure I remember looking at on your stall, because I mean, like I say, you started out on the markets, on a Fridays in our local town in Dewsbury. So I remember the first figure that I looked at on your stall. It was a preview Mace Windu figure.
Yeah, the episode 1 sneak preview Mace Windu with blue lightsaber and the little Power of the Force green and black box. Yeah,
little box like that. Yeah, I
remember that one.
Yeah, that always sticks out to me. Does that figure?
It wasn't, because I wasn't doing the markets in '99 when episode 1 came out.
No.
I've just realised, have you picked this because of the name of the episode of this this live stream?
What?
Episode 1, The Phantom Menacers.
Oh, right, yes. Oh, yes. Sorry, yeah.
That's. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Yeah, no, it will have been probably 2001. Even though that figure came out 98, 99, I think it would have probably been 2000, 2001 when I was doing the market and I had that on the stall.
It would have been around about that time because I
Yeah.
can remember us doing trips up to Toys R Us
Toys R Us.
and picking up Attack of the Clones stuff. What?
Yeah.
Interesting
Yeah,
comment.
In fact, I think that not much longer after that, I would have had the sneak preview figures in on release for Attack of the Clones.
Right.
So probably not long after that, you remember seeing like the first ever Clone Trooper figure, Django Fett, Zam Wessel, and the little astromech R3T7.
Right. I remember. I can remember the early Django Fett because I think was the one of them that just had like. He was kind of like in a gun firing stance, and one of his arms were just outstretched or something like that. I think was the one like that.
I think that's the one. I think that's the one. Obviously, didn't have a removable helmet at the time.
No.
Anyway, there's some. I was talking to someone earlier today, and he's giving me some ideas of some topics,
right? Okay.
Conversations.
Yeah.
Some of them are fairly obvious, and some of them are what you've asked yourself in.
Right.
There's a little bit of turning this back on you now.
Oh, lovely.
What started your obsession?
What started my obsession? Right. Okay. What? When I got back into collecting, or just when I was a kid, or what? Just in what context?
Well, when you're a kid, obviously you're a kid, and you're just you're doing what comes natural to you. But what started your obsession when you became obsessed?
So when did I realise I was a collector?
I would say.
Yeah. Right. When did I start collecting? Right. Okay. It would have been late 90s. So it would have been round about in a period between 97 to 99. There was some heavy stuff going off in my life at that point, and I remember being at my parents' house up in the loft, and I found the box with all my Transformers stuff in from when I was a kid. It was the very early days of eBay. People were buying and selling them on eBay, and at the time I thought they were fetching, what I thought was good money. So I decided I cleaned some of them up. Some of them that had missing parts, I picked up missing parts to complete them, and I sold them. And when I'd sold them, I never had an Optimus Prime as a kid. So I picked myself up an Optimus Prime, and it pretty much started from there. Really, did the collecting, because it was like, right, I've got an Optimus Prime. I think I might like a Megatron. Megatron did come, but Megatron came a bit later on. So I think that's where it started. But there was also in this, what's that? Attic find. Yeah. Free ad papers. Most of my toys had got kept from childhood, so they were up in the loft. Like I said, there were Transformers, there were bits of Action Force, there were Zoids, but there was a lot of things like Dinky, Corgi, Matchbox as well, and there were a few other stuff smattered in there. So they just all came down, and like I say, some bits were sold, some bits were traded into yourself, because at that point, like I say, you had this, a few years later, you had the stall. So that's how I got into collecting, really, or got back into it, because it just unlocked those happy memories from childhood, of those toys and that. All my comics as well. I had all my comics and stuff up in the loft in a box as well.
Yeah. I think it's only fair that I answer the same questions as well.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So there's two things that I can pick up on here for what started my obsession. That's for Star Wars and for Doctor Who. So I'll do Doctor Who first, because that came first for me, and that was when they repeated, for the 30th anniversary, they repeated the Planet of the Daleks, which was a John Pertwee Dalek story. and I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and they repeated it week on week. And as you can imagine, in 1993, which was the 30th anniversary, there were no merchandise whatsoever for Doctor Who anywhere. So it was a case of picking things up at car boot sales and market stalls and charity shops and things like that. And I think one of the first things I got was the Dennis Fisher TARDIS with the fourth Doctor in it, and I got that for a belting price of £20 on the market.
Yeah.
That ended up going, but I ended up selling that a lot of years later when I first opened the shop.
Right.
Most of my collection went when I first opened the shop because, as you probably know, my collection was my stock.
Yeah, well, yeah.
when I opened, and then for Star Wars, it was the Tazos in the Walker's Crisps.
Yeah, I remember Tazos. Yeah, I collected them.
Just because of how many. This is quite sad and scary, but just because of how many crisps that we ate in our household,
right?
Quite a lot of Tazos, and
yeah,
they did a binder that you could put them in. So I bought the binder, put them in, and tried to collect the ones that I didn't have. And just because I was seen as collecting these Tazos, my mum thought that I was a Star Wars nut. Never even seen the films. Never seen the films. So my following birthday, I got loads of Star Wars memorabilia.
Right.
I've never even seen the film. I'm like, what's this porcelain C-3PO mug?
Yeah.
Anyway, it will have been when they brought out the special editions on VHS later that year. I finally got to see the films. I loved them.
Right.
So yeah, it was the Tazos that started the Star Wars obsession.
Right.
It really, really.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I had some of the. I had the booklet. I don't know if I ever managed to complete the booklet out, but I did have the booklet that you just like press them in and you collect them. I remember those. I also remember. It would have been early 90s after I'd left school. I left school 91. Started college, and while I was at college, I used to work at McDonald's, and I remember when they did the Warner Brothers characters as superheroes. So they're like Bugs Bunny, Tasmanian Devil, Daffy Duck, and I remember getting those from while I was working there, and just like so they used to be the Happy Meal toys.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. The only other thing that I collected really on that period were what do they call them now? They were Regal tokens out of Regal cigarettes. You could collect so many tokens, and you could send off for stuff. And I remember sending off for a battery-operated razor because I used to smoke a lot back then. So.
Thanks for that question. I'm going to decline from answering it just in case they ever watch this video.
What do you mean watch it? I'm here talking to you.
Yeah, I don't want to be getting things off too negative. Right, so how do you choose your purchases? Of all the stuff that comes out and is already available, from all of that, how do you choose what it is that's going to enter your collection?
Now then, very good. Well, right. Forever the Yorkshireman, I would say price. Price is a factor. But I don't know if there is. I don't know if there is a specific. A lot of it is just gut. It's just gut. It's just like I'll just see something and I'll think, yeah, I think I'll have that. I'll try that. A good case and example is Fans Toys Chomp that I picked up off you. That was something that you'd passed on to me to do a review for you because you'd had them traded in, and it's not on my collecting remit. It just nothing against Headmasters or anything like that, but it just was. It didn't fit in with the boundaries of what I'd set for my collecting habits. but it was just like, yeah, I like that. I'm going to keep that, and that was as simple as it was. You know, it wasn't complicated. It was just like, I like that. I don't know. I still don't really know what it is I like about it, but there's just something I like about it.
It is
Maybe something maybe deeper than that. If I try and think about it, there is some stuff regards what I had as a kid. So the Zoids that I've got, Zoidzilla, Trooper Zoid, and the Hellrunner. I had those as a kid, so I bought those back. Red Horn, I didn't have Red Horn as a kid, but I figured I've got Zoidzilla. It's I think I'll have Red Horn to go with him. So then you've got the good guy and the bad guy representation there. And I was fortunate enough to pick them both up boxed and in really good condition. Transformers wise, that again started because of I didn't have Optimus Prime, so I picked up an Optimus Prime. It then morphed into just characters from the first season of the cartoon, even though I'm more of a Marvel UK fan than the cartoon. But I figured that it was a good place to just... Because I didn't... When I first started, I was buying everything that had Transformers on it. Like we all go through that phase, I think, when we start collecting. We just buy, and we just like grab everything and like that. And I got to that point and I was like, no, I need to just stick to a remit. Sold a hell of a lot of stuff off and I stuck to that. So I did that. But now, bringing it round to now, what I think it is. It's unusual bits or just things that happen to catch my eye spontaneously. The Big Diex I've pre-ordered. I think it's Meta Toys or something. I always forget the name of the company that's making it, but they're making a Big Diex kit from Starfleet, X-Bomber, a TV show that I loved and still love now from back in '82. Japanese.
I really need to watch that.
Puppet show. It's really good. I think you'd enjoy it.
I really need to watch that.
So
we've got another one here. We're going to revisit this one.
All right, yeah.
I don't know if you can see my list here of conversation topics, but that's one of them. So we'll come back to that.
Which is better, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yeah, we'll come back to that later. We'll revisit it.
We'll come. I do. Yeah, I've got an opinion on that.
Yeah. So same question for myself. How do I choose purchases? If it's something cheap, I just buy it. If I decide at a later date I don't want it, then I'll sell it. If not, it gets kept. If it's something relatively expensive, I will tend to just sit on it for a week or two, or sometimes a couple of months. And if I still want it then I'll buy it. If I'm not too fussed about it anymore, then I'll either wait for it to go on discount or something like that. But yeah, if it's an expensive item, I wait.
Yeah,
I do. Just it's like a cooling off period. It's like as soon as you see something you want it, I've got to get it.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if anyone watching is members of Facebook groups where they collect for hot toy collectors. Literally within a week of a new hot toy coming out, you see several collectors trying to sell them. It's because as soon as they see those pre-orders, they need it, they've got to have it. They're not going to sell out. I can't remember the last time a hot toy actually did sell out. But they've got to have it, they're frightened of missing it, and then they get it and they decide, I don't really want this anymore, I want the next big thing. So it gets sold. And yeah, I think that's why we should all give ourselves at least 2 weeks cooling off period for some of the more expensive things.
Yeah.
So is there anything,
Right.
Next suggestion,
Yeah.
is there anything that you are looking forward to this year? Obviously, you've just mentioned the Big Diex.
Yeah. Big Diex.
I knew when I wrote this question down that was going to be the answer.
Yeah, Big Diex, but that's not here while November is that. That's November. Anything else? Well, I do have a few pre-orders on at the moment. mainly ex-transbots stuff.
Right.
Things like they're doing, well, they call it Fast and Fury, and it's Runabout and Run Amok, the battle charges.
Right, okay, yeah.
They've also doing the 3 reinforcements from Cybertron, the Omnibots. So that's Overdrive, Crankshaft, and oh bloody hell, what's the third one? Come on, someone in the chat, tell me 3 names at Omnibots. It's Camshaft, Overdrive, and I forget the name at third one. So I've got them on pre-order. There was something and I've got pre-order for Fans Toys Scourge and Fans Toys Gears. But it's Fans Toys. I'll be surprised if they turn up this year. They usually take a while to come up. So, but that's all. I think I've got my eye on at the moment, because I just picked up recently. These were on my radar for a bit, so I managed to.
Vintage card Palitoy figures.
Yeah. I managed to. I dropped lucky and I got the first 12 on Palitoy cards still sealed on the bubble. You couldn't believe my luck. I was like,
you got a bargain as well, didn't you?
This what? Sorry.
You got a bargain on those as well.
I did, yeah. I did an absolute bargain on them. I mean, this fanboy Luke, just sealed on a Palitoy card. It's just, and it's unpunched as well. It's just like,
wow.
Who'd have thought? So no. So yeah, there's not. Other than those, there's nothing really on my radar unless something crops up. One thing I will briefly mention though is that I have been noticing myself doing is I've been looking more at general merchandise, so things like jigsaws or keychains or but old vintage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also circling about. There was an eBay listing for some Zoids comics for the full run of 51 issues going a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
and
I think I've got an idea who might have bought those.
And I was watching it, and I dropped the ball. I'd forgot when it was ending. So when I logged on to put a bid on it, had ended. And when I saw the price it went for, I kicked myself because I was like, I'd have paid £10-15 more than that to get them.
Okay.
So I would a bit gutted. I'm trying to think. I think it was actually. Yeah, I'm just looking at his comment. Yeah, it was Excelsior's Domain that put me onto that.
All right, okay. I thought it was going to be him that bought them because I know he recently bought a big job lot.
He'd bought some and completed his collection a bit ago.
Right.
And he'd put me on to say that these comics were on and listed. And I watched it and I forgot when the listing was ending.
Right.
And I missed it and I missed out on it. And I was just like, I was gutted. And I was just like, oh, you bastard.
Oh, hang on. Apparently they're reselling it.
They're reselling. All right, send me a link. Email me a link, bud. I'll have a look at it. I'll be interested to see how much they're selling it for. Was it you? Did you buy them? I bet he did. I bet he bought them. You're doubling up. Wolverine, I want to answer your other question. Is someone making a note of these questions that Wolverine?
Well, the other question I've already got written down anyway. Do I think Marvel is getting worse? I'm assuming you're talking about the films. There has obviously been a downward spiral in quality. It could be that there's several reasons why it could be, and I'm not going to get into it right now. Rolando prefers Star Wars over Star Trek.
Right. Okay. That'll be a good one for you to answer. But let me just briefly give Wolverine an answer to that one about Star Wars, Star Trek.
Go on, then. Star Wars or Star Trek? That's one of my quickies.
All right. we'll do it. We might as well do it now and get it out of the way. Okay, Mr. Wolverine. Right. My opinion has always been, and there has been some fluctuation. There's a bit of give and take on it, but I always used to think when I view Star Wars and Star Trek this way. If I want to switch off and just enjoy a good romp and adventure and a bit of fantasy, I watch Star Wars. If I want to watch something that's going to make me think a little bit and engage a bit, I'll watch Star Trek. So that's how I separate the two. It's what?
Engage.
Yeah. So that was it. Yeah. So that's it. So Star Wars is turn your mind off and just enjoy and go for the ride. Star Trek is what I watch to think. So I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. I think they both have their place, for people to enjoy what they do. Although, if you really want to push it and get my opinion on, I think I would have said more recently the quality of Star Trek was awful. And then the quality of some Star Wars was getting a bit better. But then, after season 3 of Mando and season 3 of Picard, that's just turned it on its head. I would never, if someone had said to me at the end of last year, will you do a £10 bet that Picard will be better than Mando? I'd have been like, no, I'm not taking that bet. Yeah. But here we are. What do you think anyway, guys? What do you?
Very much on the same page.
Yeah.
I've always leant more towards Star Wars. There were a point at which I did collect both. I can remember having loads of Star Trek ships hanging from my bedroom ceiling, which I painted black and put white spots all over to make it look like a starfield. And the ship spun upside down so that when I laid in my bed, I could see, it felt like I was looking down on the ships. I could see the top of them. I do like both. I was never, it was before my time, so I never really was a big fan of the original series. And I know that would be very, very different for yourself. But I know that I tend to lean more towards Star Wars because I used to pick up all of the comics, all of the novels, and I used to read them. Whereas Star Trek, I've only read a handful of the comics, and again, only a handful of the books. So I would tend to lean more Star Wars. However, completely agree with what you've just said. This year's season of Picard was not outstanding, but very, very, very good. And it hit you in all the right places at the right times. Mandalorian, what the hell's going on there? This series was an absolute mess. You had some really, really good episodes, but the dross really, really outweighed it. Really outweighed it.
It wasn't so much that for me. It was just it just felt to me like it wasn't pointless. It wasn't the same people that had wrote the previous 2 seasons.
It felt that way, but it was.
I know that's what. Yeah, I know it was, but it just didn't feel that way. Some of the decisions in writing that they made for the characterization, I just thought it just makes no sense.
One of the worst episodes for me this year was the Battle Droid episode. And I cannot believe that was written by Jon Favreau.
Right.
It was a bad Clone Wars episode.
Yeah.
So, what was my biggest sale and what did they buy? My biggest sale was just a few months ago. It was from the Godzilla collection that I'd taken in, and it was a pinball machine. Full-size pinball machine from the 98 Godzilla film. I'm not going to say how much it was because they're also a fellow YouTuber and they might not want me to disclose that, but it was a very hefty price tag.
A gentleman's discretion.
Yes.
Yeah. What was my biggest sale? I don't think I've had a biggest sale. Probably one of my cars in the past.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
One of your passions.
Yeah, no. It wasn't particularly big. It was a metaphorical big sale. But I remember years ago, I sold my Shining Ultra Magnus, the e-hobby. Actually, no, I think it was a JAFCON special. I think it was years ago. Regret that. But anyway, yeah, that was my Starfleet's my thing. Yes, I know we discussed that Excelsior's Domain. We chatted about that.
This one's for you because it's something I've never seen.
GoBots.
I've had a couple of the toys.
Yeah,
I've never seen the animated series or anything like that.
I vaguely remember the cartoon. It was very, very sporadic. I think at one point it replaced Transformers on Wackaday. Did Challenge of the GoBots. Very briefly. I don't think it was on there very long. Saw the odd episode here and there. I think it's something I won't mind going back to watch, because I have heard that in some respects the storylines were better than what they were on the Transformers cartoon.
Oh, okay.
But the animation style, it was Hanna-Barbera that did it, so it had that distinctly Hanna-Barbera look to it.
Okay.
Ooh, excuse me.
Interesting.
Which, to be fair, considering all the animation mistakes and errors that were in the Transformers cartoon, I can't really say it's going to be off-putting. But I had more GoBot toys at one point than Transformer toys. I actually made a list on a spreadsheet. Love spreadsheets. But and I tried to recall the toys I had as a kid, like with regards to Transformers and GoBots, and I was quite surprised that they were closer than what I thought they would be. I think because the GoBots were more pocket money friendly as well than what Transformers were. The only pocket money friendly Transformers really would have been the mini-bots, things like your Bumblebees and Cliff Jumpers and things like that. Where with the GoBots, because there was more of that scale, you could get more with pocket money. So I do vaguely recall GoBots, but again, I've got the comics as well. They did a comic run, and I've got the digital scans, which I sent to Simon, TFUK collector. I sent him because he's big on GoBots. He likes his GoBot stuff. So, but yeah, it's something I'll have to look into.
Okay, so I don't think I have the biggest regret buying toys. For the shop as buying stock, there's probably a lot of regrets there, and a lot of it's going to be surrounding the Star Wars sequels. I think a lot of shops have a lot of regrets on overstocking Force Awakens and Last Jedi toys. No one did the same mistake on Rise of Skywalker, though, because there weren't any. The only Star Wars film to not have a toy line.
Yeah. Have they not? Have they not done any toys for Rise of Skywalker?
It didn't get its own dedicated line.
No.
Black Series had maybe half a dozen figures.
Right.
And Vintage Collection had, I want to say it had a Rey, a Kylo Ren maybe, and a Knight of Ren, and I think that's literally about it.
Right.
And there's no Rise of Skywalker branded toys.
Right.
Which is quite unusual.
Yeah.
Very unusual.
I think my biggest regret was the what do they call them now? The Bandai Fig Arts. Is it SH Fig Arts?
Yeah. Yes. I remember you getting those.
Yeah, I picked those up. I saw them and I thought, I want those. They look really cool, because at the time I had a selection of the Bandai kits, like the Stormtrooper, the Vader, and the Boba Fett, and I thought they'd look pretty good with those. And I picked up, I think it was Ben Kenobi, Luke, Han, and Leia. And when I got them, I mean, I didn't pay over the odds for them. I got them for a decent price. But when I got them, they just kind of, they just unnerved me. They were just kind of like, there was a real uncanny valley about the way that they looked. And I was like, and they just didn't sit comfortable on the shelf. So then I just thought, no, I wanted to get rid of them. I just got, well, I traded them in with you. I just thought, no. And I got shut of them. I just thought, no, I just didn't. So no, I kind of regret buying those, because it kind of reaffirmed that in 6-inch line anyway, because I do have some Hasbro Black Series stuff. I tend to stick with the more, kind of like suited, like stormtroopers, things like that. Ones that could possibly be robots, rather than human characters. What's that? Robot changes.
Yeah, we've had a couple of GoBot related comments.
Yeah, I think I saw someone put. Did someone put grandstand converters?
I haven't got to that yet. If they did,
I think someone did. I think someone mentioned grandstand converters.
Same guy. It's Guzzy.
Yeah. I remember seeing grandstand converters on the toy shelves and that. There was. I think it was called Omegatron or something like that. They released Omega Supreme over here, but as Omegatron, and rather it being like that like beigey browny colour, it was black. I think black, grey, and red. It was with a white track. So I do. Yeah, I remember grandstand converters. Yeah.
He mentioned the robot changes as well, didn't he?
Robot changes. Well, that would a Bandai one, wasn't it? Robot changes.
I thought that was a line of the GoBots. Actually, was it not?
I could be wrong, but wasn't that the radio controlled red Hilux pickup truck that change? I think. I don't know. I'd have to. Oh, what's that? Because here robot changes were sometimes giving away at petrol stations. Oh, hang on a minute. Were they like really tiny? Did they do like insects and bugs on the robot changes?
There's some bug bots.
And then was there like a little Jeep as well?
I can't see that. That's a Buddy L toy are the bug bots.
Right. Yeah, Guzzy's also mentioned something about gunsmith cats at Doncaster Toy Fair.
Oh, right, okay. Let's try and catch up with some of these. Talking of weird-looking figures, someone at Doncaster Toy Fair had a set of the Dark Horse gunsmith cats. Yeah, I don't know what they are.
They were haunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want a figure that's like going to creep you out. When you look at it, and that's what them SH figure arts did. They're just
yeah, they're very strange, aren't they? So a lot of people collect them though.
Yes, yeah, I'm aware. Yeah,
I do hope they're not the same kind of collectors that complain over the price of Black Series though, considering the price of figure arts.
Yeah, they are quite expensive.
And some of the Black Series helmets are really, really good.
Yeah, I know people are dropping lucky at the moment. Games seem to be doing sporadically. So I think that the last one they did that I saw was the artillery stormtrooper helmet. I think they had it on for something like £50.
Yeah, I wish I could get them for the prices they sell stuff at.
Yeah. I mean, it's not my thing, but I think at £50, I'd have a stormtrooper helmet at £50.
Definitely.
Nowhere to put it, like. But I mean, I've got a Batman Returns cowl from 1993 on a mannequin head, but it's packed away in storage because I just haven't got the room to.
You should get that back out now.
I should do, really, shouldn't I?
Yeah,
should do.
Michael Keaton's Batman back at the cinema.
Yeah.
Next month.
Yeah. What's that? Robot changes were made by Mark and Takatoku. Takatoku, that was what did Takatoku do as well now? Didn't they do some of the deluxe Insecticons, I want to say.
Possibly.
But again, I don't know. I could be wrong. My memory's sketchy at best.
The friend that I was talking to earlier,
yeah,
to give ideas of things to talk about on this thing. He mentioned a very interesting question.
Right.
He brought two up. One was regarding Luke's training on Dagobah in
All right.
Mike's back. if he was training on Dagobah, how did he manage to get to Bespin so quickly?
Yeah.
I pointed out that it's not explained well in the film, but he was on Dagobah for several months, and it was while the Millennium Falcon was suffering its hyperdrive problems and needed repairing. It's just not explained very well in the films. But there's a really good one that he came out with, and it's in Back to the Future 2. Old Man Biff returns to the future after giving young Biff the almanac.
Yeah.
How? Bearing in mind it breaks the time travel rules established in the very same film. Because after he's given that almanac, the future he would return to would be the future where Biff has used the almanac.
Right. There are two explanations for this. One of them is a deleted scene. The other is later on, I think, in the same film. The deleted scene actually shows Biff getting out the car and dissolving and disappearing.
Right.
And that's explained that at some point in his altered timeline, Lorraine Bain shoots and kills him. And so that's why he disappears. But then the reason why he's able to return to that point to bring the DeLorean back is, as Doc Brown explains, it's the ripple effect. So by the time he'd returned back to that point in time, the ripple effect hadn't caught up with it.
Okay.
So that's the in-universe explanation for it. But from a more straightforward point of view, technically speaking, no, he shouldn't be able to get back to that point because he would have gone to the future of his alternate timeline that he created from 1955.
Yeah, and Excelsior's just said that he fades out. That's, as Ed's just said, that's in the deleted scene.
Yeah,
you do see him sort of like coughing and spluttering and bending over as though he's in.
Yes,
he's suffering in some kind of way.
Yeah, but in the deleted scene, it lasts a bit longer and it shows him fading and disappearing.
Okay, fair enough.
But to be fair, the Back to the Future films are more entertaining than an actual. But they do. I mean, it is quite. It would create an alternate timeline if you went back and changed something, so you wouldn't be on the same. Like that. People say, "Oh, if I could go back in time, I'd buy a lottery ticket and then come forward," and it's like, but it wouldn't, you'd come forward to a different time point or time period. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. I'm not Professor Brian Cox. What's that? Looking up Takatoku, he did some Macross toy stuff. Right, so Takatoku, then that will be where the Jetfire, Transformers Jetfire came from then. Poppy Takatoku, yeah. Yeah, Poppy did a lot of robot, what's the name of them now? I talked to one of the guys on one of the interviews about it, like the Japanese robot kind of looking toys.
It's like Grendizer type things.
Maybe, yeah, something like that, yeah. What have we got? I'm just looking at questions. So, any more questions? Yeah, so has your friend suggested any more questions, Gareth?
He put up he came up with the Star Wars or Star Trek, and he gave me a list of similar things.
Yeah.
I already know the answer to some of these with you. It's
right.
Kirk or Picard.
Kirk,
yeah. I'd probably say the same, even though I'm not much of a original series fan. Here's one that I added to it, though. Harris or Gambon? Harry Potter, Dumbledore.
Harris.
They play very different parts, don't they?
Yeah. I know it's supposed to be the same character, but I like Richard Harris as an actor.
Yeah.
As a kid, one of the earliest films I can remember seeing with Richard Harris in, well, there was two. There was A Man Called Horse, and then there was another film called The Wild Geese. And in The Wild Geese, his character dies at the end, and it was just like, it's just so upsetting. So that was, so those, so I would say Richard Harris. But also, I think his portrayal of Dumbledore, to be quite frank, he's less of a bastard than what Gambon's Dumbledore is. You know, Gambon's Dumbledore is quite. I mean, I've not read the books, so I'm just going from the films, but he's quite manipulative, and you know, he's kind of like, well, as Snape says later in the final film, you know, you've bred the boy to be a pig to the slaughter.
Yeah.
You know, so
although that's not necessarily how he plays it, that's how it was written.
Yeah. So Jetfire, yeah. Cheers, Guzzy, yeah.
And I think Excelsior's giving you one of the names of the robots.
That's it, Mazinger, yeah. There's one of those, I think it's the Mazinger line, where I always call him Wheeljack's long-lost twin brother. Because it's like a green and yellow white robot, but the head has got like the ear protrusions, and his head looks like Wheeljack's head.
Right, okay.
Obviously proper Wheeljack, not this shite Wheeljack from Rise of the Beasts.
This is one that I want to know your thoughts on, because I know where you're going to go straight away.
Well, don't ask it then.
No, but the interesting part is that for the person who played the role, a certain episode of Mandalorian might have changed your opinion of this.
Right, okay, go on.
And that's Bullock or Morrison. Jeremy Bullock for Boba Fett or Tamara Morrison for Boba Fett. And obviously that Rodriguez episode, the tragedy, there's no way that Jeremy Bullock could have ever done that.
Right. Well...
And Jeremy Bullock was literally a man in a suit.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean... Jeremy Bullock was just the actual... Right. From memory recollection, I recall reading that the direction Jeremy Bullock was given was to play Boba Fett, basically Clint Eastwood, like the man with no name, you know, from the Dollars trilogy films, you know, like A Few Dollars More, Fistful of Dollars, and Good, Bad, and the Ugly. So to play him like that, the man with no name. But I think since the prequel trilogy and more so specifically, you know, Attack of the Clones, Tamara Morrison has just become the embodiment of Boba Fett, you know, by proxy as being Jango Fett, you know, because we know he's a clone. And so I think that as much as there may be an affection for Jeremy Bullock being Boba Fett behind the mask, I just think now that Boba Fett is Tamara Morrison. And, you know, and it's the voice, the mannerisms, you know, so it's, you know, Jeremy Bullock is Boba Fett in Empire. Because I don't even think he played him in Jedi, did he? I think there were a few different people that played him in Jedi, weren't there?
Possibly.
Yes, I think he was in the suit for the original release of Jedi, but then when they did the special editions, there were a couple of different, because there's a photograph on the web, and there's a guy with glasses and a mustache, just sort of like, you know, stood with the slave girls in Jabba's palace. But yeah, so I'd say he's Tamara Morrison, really. He's Boba Fett now, I think.
Okay, I agree. I agree with that. Do you have a favourite Doctor Who?
Now then, right, okay. Are we talking new era or classic era?
All
of it. Right, all of it. Right. As a kid, I caught the arse end of Tom Baker, and I quite enjoyed his. I wouldn't say the specific memories, but the more imprints rather than memories. So I can remember watching episodes of Tom Baker. I can remember definitely. I've got a strong memory of watching the episode where he regenerated into Peter Davidson, and because it was like he's fallen off a pylon, and this white dude's just laid on top of him. What's all that about? You know. So that was very confusing as a kid. I enjoyed the Peter Davidson ones. I enjoyed Perry. I enjoyed. Colin Baker was okay. Sylvester McCoy. By the time Sylvester McCoy came, I didn't see many Sylvester McCoy episodes. I can't really remember when I dropped out on it. The new stuff, I didn't see any of Eccleston's episodes when it first came out, so I started watching it again. My first time watching Doctor Who, New Who, if you will, was the Christmas special where David Tennant took over.
Right, okay.
And I really enjoyed the David Tennant. So at that point, I would have said, yeah, David Tennant was my favourite. Then Matt Smith took over. And now in retrospect, going back, watching episodes, I would probably say now it's Matt Smith. Because there's just something about... There's something in his eyes. He's a young man, but when you look at him and look at his eyes, you believe that there's a centuries old soul behind those eyes, and I don't think any other actors that have played Doctor Who have been able to convey that as well as what Matt Smith does. Now that's accepting that I've not seen any of the Pertwee, Troughton or Hartnell episodes, so I can't talk of those early ones. But the stuff I remember of Tom Baker, he had that bit of a kind of crazy look at times in his eyes.
Yeah.
But like I said, Matt Smith is the one that, yeah, I'd say Matt Smith.
Okay, that's fair. It's not a bad choice. I think he's my favourite of the modern Doctors by a long mile. And my idea of my favourite Doctor of the classic series, it changes. It changes constantly. Sometimes I'll prefer John Pertwee because he's the first one that I ever saw. So he was my Doctor in the sense that he was the first one that I saw. But then I like Paul McGann because he was my Doctor as I was watching it. I saw it start, even though he only had the one special or movie, or whatever terminology you want to use for that episode. He only had the one until they did that Night of the Doctor for the 50th anniversary, that little short. So I went through all the comics and all the novels with him, but then I like what they were doing with the Sylvester McCoy, trying to make him a little bit darker, have something to do with the origins of the Time Lord Society and everything. So it does keep changing, and even though I haven't mentioned any of the other Doctors, that doesn't mean that they're not my favourites sometimes.
No.
I listen to a lot of the Big Finish audios, and by far Colin Baker is the best of those. He really gets to flesh out his version of the Doctor, which he never did in the TV series. So it does change from time to time. So I can't even give a definitive answer for that one.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. I kind of agree that I will go back and I'll watch certain episodes from time to time, and I enjoy the episode and the story regardless of who's the Doctor in that particular story. Well, up until the end of Matt Smith, I don't want to go past Matt Smith because I want to keep this civil. So I'll drop in and and watch, and I'll enjoy the episodes regardless of who the Doctor is. But I think if you were to say like as a standalone, who would I would say Matt Smith. I mean, like you mentioned John Pertwee. John Pertwee for me is Wurzel Gummidge. I grew up with Wurzel Gummidge.
He is for a generation.
Yeah, so I knew him as Wurzel Gummidge before the Doctor.
A cup of tea and a slice of cake.
Yeah, a cup of tea and a slice of cake, Aunt Sally. Where's my reading pegs?
It was a diamond.
Yeah.
Okay, prequels or sequels?
What, Star Wars? Prequels, most definitely. We've spoken about this. I was when the prequels came out, I was never in the camp that disliked them. I've always liked the prequels. I'm fully aware of the shortcomings, in the particular films, but taken as a whole, if viewing them as one film rather than three separate films, I like them, and I've never had an issue with them. I don't have an issue with them. Okay. Sequels, no. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I have to say, I massively prefer the sequels.
Right.
Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising,
Right.
and The Last Command.
Yeah.
And then following on from that, you've got the Jedi Academy trilogy and
Yeah.
the Dark Empire trilogy, Crimson
Hmm.
Empire trilogy. They're all far better than the prequels, and they are the sequels.
Hmm. Now you see, if you'd have been more specific in your question.
Well, you've not read any of them.
No, I've not. No, so I would have still said the prequels because I've not read any of the book. So it's on my list of things to do.
Is it?
Oh yeah. I won't mind. I won't mind reading the Heir to the Empire books.
Yeah.
If
They're
I
a
might,
must.
if you know anyone who's got a few dog-eared copies lying about, I'll have a read.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting one for you. This doesn't apply to me at all.
Right.
Vintage G1
Yeah.
or your modern masterpieces?
Vintage G1.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what camp does that put you into then? Do you consider yourself a collector or a player?
I'm a collector. I don't play. I don't sit there going pew 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 and making the noises when transforming. I'm not doing that. I suppose I could be considered a player if I'm doing a review of the newer masterpiece stuff, because you have to transform them and you have to pose them for a photo. But no, it would be G1. The masterpiece. Everything else would go before the G1 stuff. The G1 stuff would be the last thing that I would ever get rid of. So the masterpieces would go. The other little tidbits of merchandise and things like that I've got, they'd go. So yeah, definitely. Someone described me not long back as a G1er. They said I'm a G1er, but a Diaclone G1er, because I prefer the figures that were transferred over from the Diaclone line. Because I'm not a big fan of, I'd say, post 85. Some of the stuff that came out after 85, like 86, things like Hot Rod, Cup, Blur, when Hasbro started doing the designs rather than the old Takara designs. I'm not a big fan of the newer stuff going forward. Some of it's nice. There's some nice individual pieces, but as a whole, I'm not a big fan.
Okay, so I weren't sure. I figured that you would lean towards the G1,
Yeah,
the vintage. But it's how that collector or player plays into that question that I thought would be interesting, because obviously a big part of your answer to that, vintage or modern, is down to your nostalgia and playing with those toys when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And a collector wouldn't really be interested in the playing. It's just they've got to have it. So I wondered if you would lean more towards the player, because it's your memories of playing with them that would make you choose that.
Well, the thing is, the majority of G1 Transformers that I have,
You didn't have.
I never had as a kid, so I've no memories or nostalgia about playing with them.
Okay.
So it's more just because there was stuff that I wanted as a kid, but I just didn't get. I just didn't have. So I collected them and picked them up for that.
Guzzy, you have just blown my mind.
Cup. Do it to the pickup.
Is that genuine?
Is what? Sorry.
Is that accurate?
I have absolutely no idea. Not a clue.
How have I never picked up on that before?
I mean, he's kind of a Cybertronian pickup, futuristic Cybertronian pickup truck, I suppose, or flatback. But no, I don't know. That's one of the things actually that's come up with doing this collector's archive thing that I'm doing, and some of the fans and collectors that I'm speaking to. It's just basically teaching me how little I actually know, and how much.
Yeah, but I've watched I would say 95% of your content, and yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, there's people that know far more than what I do.
And I can tell you now that Guzzy is probably one of them.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. I know what I know.
Whether or not his knowledge would extend past yours when it comes to that G1, particularly the area that you collect.
Right.
I don't know, but overall, definitely.
But the thing is, though, I don't know if it's an age thing or what, but I forget loads of stuff. I can be talking to people about something and just like thinking, I don't know if I remember that. And then afterwards, I'll be like, all right, yeah, of course, I'll remember. But no, I know what I know, and what I don't know, I'll read up on and look into and find out. But but G1, it's collector. They don't come out of the boxes very often because they're all boxed, they're all complete. And if I need to take a photograph of a particular one, I've got reissues, and it's usually the reissue that I'll take a photograph of rather than the original one, because I don't have to take it out of the box then.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, Guzzy, does that make Transformers the original fidget toys?
Yeah, it could be a fidget toy.
The original fidget spinners.
To be fair, I've finished the feature now, but on my Instagram profile, I went through a phase of doing the patents for the G1 toys, and there's one or two on them that actually describes them as puzzle toys.
Really?
Yeah, puzzle toys. Because you to transform them.
They come with instructions.
Yeah, just sort of like it's a it's kind of a Rubik's cube. It's just transforming Rubik's cube.
Well, we'll skim past this one really quickly. Guzzy has a penchant for the fembots.
All right.
Yes.
Yep. Each to their own.
Yeah, definitely. I'm putting these up in the wrong order. There we go. Yes, 285 fembots.
Right then. We see. Right. Okay.
Hell of a collection. In fact, that might be a collector you want to talk to.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. If you know Guzzy, sending me details and tell him to get in touch with me. I will just talk about that though briefly.
Okay. That one.
Yeah, that one. My stance is, I don't get it. I wish they'd just let them be an alien race. Let them be aliens race. The robots, they've no need. They don't have sex. They don't need to reproduce. They don't reproduce sexually, so there's no need for sex. There's no need for male or female. I know they're drawn in a particular masculine way and are referred to in the masculine, but that's just in and of its time. But the GoBots, if I remember rightly, GoBots actually started out as biological life forms. And there was something that happened on their planet, Gobatron or whatever it was called, and forced them to basically become robots. So their essences are inhabiting robot bodies. So they used to be biological life forms, and that's how you get female GoBots. Okay. Yeah, because they used to be biological. So they didn't start off as robots. So within the GoBot continuity, completely get it, and there's an explanation there for it. Bring Transformers. Let's be brutally honest. Back in the 80s, Elita 1 was introduced because they were trying to encourage girls to to watch Transformers and to buy the toys. Which, growing up in the 80s like I did, I knew a few girls that I went to school with, and they bought Transformers and they played with Transformers because they liked them, because they were Transformers, not because they thought they were boys or girls or whatever. They just thought they're pretty cool toys and they got them. But I did enjoy Simon Furman's Spotlight RC.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
Was it Spotlight RC or was it Spotlight Shockwave?
No, I think it was Spotlight RC. I think it was. It was Jyaxis was experimenting to trying to introduce
Was it? I thought it was Spotlight. I thought it was Shockwave that was doing the
No.
experiments. Was it Jax?
No, it was Jaxus. It was Jaxus that was doing experiments on Transformers, and he picked RC, and he did try to introduce, sex, gender, whatever you want to call it, to see how it would affect Cybertronians.
Well, it was more that he'd recognised that on all the other planets that they'd visited, they had two distinct, different variations of each species. One was a
they were binary species.
Yeah, he'd recognised that, and when he looked at the Transformer species, they were all what would be more in line with the masculine. So he did some experiments to turn one of those masculine ones into a feminine one, just to see what it would do, and it made her go nuts. Which that was RC, and I actually love the storyline behind that, and the characterization of RC leading out of that, and how she felt damaged. I thought it was a really, really good story.
Yeah. But some people took that as a slight on, womanhood.
Well, I think Guzzy's latest comment there sums up that.
Yeah, Jax has converted RC and made her mad.
Yeah.
Or made it mad.
Well, yeah, made it mad, yeah.
Yeah, made it mad, because the robots, they're an it.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. Whatever. It.
Cheesecake.
Fan service for the lads. We see that's another thing I don't get, and I never got it. And I never got it as a kid. I don't understand that term, cheesecake. Maybe I'm too old to understand that term. I don't know, but that was the other thing I never got as a kid as well. This whole thing about the way that they used to draw female characters in cartoons and in comics, like overtly sexualized. It's like, and you get some kids sort of like, for want of a better word, perving over cartoons, and it's like, it's a cartoon, man. What are you doing? Cheesecake's like eye candy. Yeah, well,
I never saw that in RC.
No,
I have to say I've never seen it in any of the Transformers.
No, I must admit. I mean, maybe it's just a growing up in the 80s, 70s and 80s thing. I never watched a cartoon thinking, "Oh, that's a tidy piece of animation." That there, I don't. Let's have a look. If you want to come, you wasn't being the process of the lack of left to get made a man. It originally appeared in the story was back in Transformers. That the story was.
I don't think it actually did mock Transformers at all. I actually think there's a certain element.
It was Mayor Gage Scott through a Teddy art cut over it.
There's a certain element of every community that decides they want to be overly protective of other elements of the community, even when they don't necessarily need to be protected. That story wasn't there to attack anybody at all. It was there. It was there to explain why. Have you got volume on yours? Because I'm getting a bit of a reverb. I've got nothing on here. But yeah, it was there to explain the introduction of a female-looking character in that iteration of the IDW comics. Because there haven't been any up until that point. Because, quite rightly so, in those comics, they'd all been quite masculine. And
the thing about it is, I can't be arsed with this, but my final point will be, I think what happened with, and what's happening with modern comics is that you're getting unimaginative writers, and all they're doing is just self-inserting. They're just trying to self-insert themselves into the storylines. You see, I'm from a time where, growing up, where when I read these comics and I watched Star Wars films, when I watched these films, cartoons, and read comics, I wanted to be on the adventures with them. I didn't want to see myself represented in them. Yeah. you know, so my imagination was going on the adventures with these people, where now it seems to be everybody wants to be the focus and the center of attention. It's really narcissistic, you know, they want to be the center of attention in the story. It's like, I think that's the difference now, and that's why you're getting these self-inserts and people writing themselves into the stories, you know, and then they're masking it as this representation. Things like, I want to watch a film and read a story to escape from what's in reality. You know, I don't want to read something that's going to remind me of the reality. I know what reality is, and it sucks, yeah? So I want to go on the adventure and escape, and I want to be in that adventure with the people. So growing up as a kid, watching Star Wars, for example, I never wanted to be Luke Skywalker. I never wanted to be Han Solo. I wanted to be me going on the adventure with them.
Right, yes.
Yeah? Where that's now different. So now you've got the writing stories and the characters are just blanks that people can try and project themselves onto. And for me, it's just unimaginative writing. You know, science fiction writing now is anything but. You know, and I think that's why...
I agree.
I think that's why the original... sorry, I was just distracted. But
I'm going to respond to that just before I move on from this subject. It's taking up a big chunk.
Yeah, what we're going to say. Yeah, I think that's why the old UK Marvel stories are far superior than anything that IDW has done, because it's just pure science fiction. You know. So, but yeah. Anyway, I'll just leave it. I mean, don't go wrong. I will just add, people can do what they want. I don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. They do what they want, yeah? People can enjoy what they want for what they want, yeah?
Yeah. No,
I enjoy, and God love them and leave them to it, you know? You enjoy what you enjoy, I enjoy what I enjoy. But I draw the line. It's like, where I draw the line is, don't try to convince me not to like what I like. Because I'll never try to convince you not to like what you like. Yeah? So you leave me the fuck alone and I'll leave you the fuck alone. You know? Sorry. Well, it's not for kids, this, is it? Sorry.
It's not, no.
So I'm getting my ass here.
Yeah, with this one particular comment here, Guzzy, I would argue that it wasn't a good look for Margaret Scott. She came into a franchise that had a continuity. And that continuity already had a storyline written, and then she decided to just turn it completely on its head because she didn't like it, and make out that prior to there never been any female Transformers, that there's a planet full of female Transformers that were hiding from the men because the men weren't very good. If that's not political writing, I don't know what is. And the last one. The reason why these things are not made, or never should be made, for a minority of any kind, is because they're trying to sell a product to everybody. And that means 100% of the people, not 5%. And writing anything for a very small minority is going to lead to a decline in sales, which is why IDW is struggling at the moment. And that's a shame. And that's not a slur to anyone or meant to offend anyone. It just is.
Yeah.
And moving on. Excelsior, 90s comics animation is probably most guilty of that high-handed approach. Is it though? A lot of the 80s stuff, I mean, maybe I'm thinking more manga, but yeah, Ghost in the Shell and a lot of stuff around that kind of era. I suppose 90s certainly expanded it with the X-Men and things like that. Front covers with very busty ladies.
Yeah, is it that meme with Rogue, is it, from the X-Men cartoon?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll just quickly say to Guzzy, yeah?
Oh. Yeah.
If he wants to come on the Collector's Archives, I would truly be fascinated to listen to his collecting journey. What motivates him on that. I think that'd be really interesting. It's not there's no attack or anything there at all.
No.
Nothing. It's just like I say, I'm just an old fart. So I've got to that age now where I don't give monkeys. I stopped caring a long time ago. I just speak my mind now. But yeah,
I wouldn't warn you though, if you're trying to branch out from Star Wars, I believe that's the core of Guzzy's collection. Not
Star Wars.
Star Wars? No, you could do with a Star Wars collector. No, from Transformers.
Right.
I believe Transformers is the core of his collection, but he just collects other things as well. G.I. Joe is one of them. The fine stuff. So yeah, I will drop him a PM with your email.
But yeah, G.I. Joe, Action Force is my other thing as well.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Which has a tenuous link with G.I. Joe.
Yeah. The comic. I've got a couple of issues at the shop actually.
Although, actually, no, saying that, I do remember, actually, in the 80s, they did... Chitara was drawn quite curvy.
Yes.
In Thundercats.
Yeah.
But not overtly. I mean, even like He-Man, back in He-Man days, Teela wasn't over-sexualized. But you see, that's the thing again. I think that's maybe a modern slant on stuff, because growing up as a kid, never watched these cartoons or things and didn't really think about anything like that. They were just cartoons. They were just comics. Just boys didn't buy girl figures. I never had a Princess Leia figure because it's like, well, it's a girl. I'm not buying a girl.
I think Guzzy's up for a chat.
Yeah. No, it'd be cool. Yeah. If he gets time, yeah.
Transformers, G.I. Joe Classified.
Yeah, G.I. Joe. Yeah, I got rid of all mine. None of those American tosh. Yeah.
Good man. Good man.
What's that? Strong male warriors and slender female rogues are made short for those guys. Yeah, maybe, yeah. I mean, to be fair though, I mean, there were. I mean, again, I'm saying
Tina always was able to hold her own.
Yeah,
and so was Chitara.
Yeah,
Chitara. I don't remember her being needed to be rescued every episode.
No, Ellen Ripley, Leia. But anyway, that's going back onto that, innit?
Yeah, we got that, does it?
Any more questions?
I think that'll probably do for tonight.
That'll do.
We're at an hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's quite a good stretch.
It
is that?
I mean, if you want, let's have a look. I'm just looking at chat here. No, don't worry about it, Guzzy. No, listen. I love politics. That's my other jam. Is that politics? I grew up in a household where it was very politically driven. My dad used to watch the news a lot and listen to Parliament, because Parliament wasn't televised back then. It was just only on the radio. So I grew up, with always with my finger on the pulse of current affairs and stuff like that. So no, don't ever apologise for that. It's political debate's great. I love it. And the good thing I like about it as well is I'd never fall out with people, because I just love debating, and it's great just to hear opposite opinions, because that's what you need. You need to listen to other people's opinions. If you only listen to people that have got the same opinion as you, you're not going to get nowhere at all. But yeah, it'd be great with that.
Although that said, I don't think we've ever nearly come to blows, but there have been times when I've been at your house and our discussions have got so political, I've been fuming and wanting to storm out a couple of times. Not in recent years, though. Not in recent years.
Yeah, it just is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Guzzy did make a comment earlier on, which I didn't share, which I thought was quite funny.
What's that?
The first female Transformers character in media was Auntie, the art.
Yes, Auntie, yeah.
Thatcher.
Yeah, I remember Auntie, yeah, in the... that was...
she wasn't actually a Transformer.
No, she was the program on that was the... when Windcharger and Ravage went on the mission in the Ark to destroy her, so to speak. It's when you found out that Ravage Used to be an Autobot.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he used to be an Autobot. He switched sides.
Mhm.
But anyone got any final questions before we end then?
Well, Excelsior agrees. Anti was a good shout.
Ooh, Anti.
Ravage and Wind Charger.
Yeah, he's mentioned Ravage and Wind Charger.
So, I think. Does anybody want to know anything else? Want to ask any deep personal questions?
You can ask whether you get an answer or not. But no, I've enjoyed it. It's been a good chat.
It's been a good
chat. Yeah. It's been interesting to be at the opposite side of it.
Has it?
Yeah.
So when you were playing on the floor with your Transformers in front of the fire, what were you watching on TV?
I was watching right then. Well,
here's one.
What? Boxers or briefs? Boxers.
Boxers all the way.
Although
unless I'm trying to impress someone.
Yeah, I would really love a nice pair of 70s maroon Y-fronts, just for the nostalgia value.
Okay.
but no, cartoons and stuff. I hardly watched Transformers because it was hardly on, on the Wackaday thing. It was only on 5-minute excerpt, sections here and there. Most of my cartoon memories from a kid is like really early stuff, things like Jamie and the Magic Torch, Charlton and the Wheelies, Willow the Wisp. Those early stuff,
Kenneth Williams.
And there were Moomins, and
I had a vinyl record of Willow the Wisp.
Willow the Wisp, yeah.
Kenneth
Williams, yeah, and Muppet Show, and Fraggle Rock, and Sesame Street. So those Cities of Gold, and I didn't watch Transformers. You say it got broken? Yeah. Really, to be fair, the first one that I watched unbroken really was Arrival from Cybertron when it came out on VHS, and that was probably late '85, or maybe that could have been even early '86. Could that?
Yeah,
because the Transformers cartoon didn't start over here until October '85. So the cartoon had already been out a
Definitely
year.
All here. Is that the maroon Y-front?
I'm just trying to remember. I think we're maybe around about the same age, me and Excelsior.
Yeah. I think you possibly. Yeah. And we might be somewhere.
Trumpton, yes, Trumpton. Yeah, Trumpton. Oh, Betford Rascal. Yeah, I remember Betford Rascal vans. There also used to be a Commerce van. Yeah, Moss Chops. Charlton and the I've always said Charlton and the Wheelies. Yeah, all those great Fenella. Yeah, hello, little old lady living in a kettle.
I remember Banana Man.
Yeah, Banana Man. Super Gran. I used to fucking hate Super Gran.
Yeah, I was never a fan. Of that.
The Scunner Campbell. All this, I mean, it was a good theme tune. Billy Connolly. Rent a Ghost. Yeah, Claypole the Jester. Used to love Rent a Ghost. Oh, the Shoe People. Yeah, I remember that. Come on, they're firing them all off now. Come on.
Shoe People.
Yeah, Poddington Peas. There were raccoons.
Down at the bottom of the garden, amongst the birds and the bees. Yeah. There lived a lot of little people.
But
tonight, Matthew, I'm not going to.
Now, Visionary and Mask. I never watched those.
Everyone's
I
just
did watch
chiming
Street
in now.
Hawk, and I did watch Blue Thunder. Ulysses 31. Yeah. There was another one as well. I don't know if anyone in the chat remembers it. It was called Flashing Blade, and it used to be on BBC Two on a Saturday. And it was like some maybe late 60s, early 70s. It was a French show with like swashbuckling swords and things like that. But it was overdubbed with English voices. but done in a really like silly camp fashion, and it was just so funny. I remember watching that.
One for you there.
Battle of the Planets, yeah, that was an early one that I used to enjoy. Monkey, yeah, Monkey. They used to fly on a cloud. Jason the Wheel Warriors, yeah. Oh, there's bloody loads. So many memories. Loved them all.
Does anybody
Loved all
remember
of them.
Bangers and Mash that used to be on ITV? I would imagine late 80s, early 90s.
I remember the title, but I can't say I remember watching it.
I remember Guzzy.
Yeah, D'Artagnan and Three Musket Hounds. Jason the Wheel. That made me laugh. Did that? There was a Peter Kay did this thing a few years back called That Peter Kay thing. It was called, and he did like loads of different ones. It was similar to something that Ronnie Barker did years ago called 7 of 1, and it was like testing for pilots. And there was one where it was what was his name now? It was the fire inspector guy, Keith Lard, and he was like a fire inspector, and he got caught in back of a car with a cocker spaniel, and the
Bad thing.
oh, I'm not in. Go away. It won't hang up. Yeah, he got caught in back of a car with a cocker spaniel. They called him D'Artagnan. They're interfering with the dog. What else have we got? Yeah, Metal Mickey. Metal Mickey was written and produced by Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees.
Interesting.
That's why it was called Metal Mickey, and it had a very young Sid Owen in it, Ricky from EastEnders. I do remember that one. Rhubarb and custard, yeah. Batfink, My Wings Are a Shield of Steel. Penelope Pitstop, The Hooded Claw. I'll get you, Penelope. Like, Antil Mob, they were on with Penelope Pitstop. Ooh, Penelope's gonna die. No, they're all coming out now. Space, yeah, thank you, Excelsior's Domain. Nobody ever remembers Space Sentinels.
Good night, Gap. You take care.
See you later. Yep. And Banana Splits, yeah. I used to love Banana Splits. Those are really... There was another one as well called Red Hand Gang. That was an American TV show. And it was about a group of kids, and they were like amateur detectives. There was another one from America as well called Whiz Kids. And they were like young kids. Yeah, Trapdoor, yeah. Whiz Kids were like these kids that were on like computer hackers, and again they would go off and solve crimes and that. Oh yeah, the hacking one as well. Yeah, it were Summit Laborto with the actor that were in Whiz Kids, but he was also in Red Hand Gang as well.
The reason Excelsior is throwing all these out is because the most popular videos he had on his channel were originally all of the intros to the 80s.
Right. So he's just firing them off, yeah?
Yeah, bless him. He had to take them down because once he reached the point where he could start earning...
All right.
They were holding him back.
Sport Billy is a kid from another planet. Had a little bag and had wings on his boots. He opened his... Dr. Snuggles were another one.
Dr. Snuggles. That was one of my favourites as a kid, actually. I loved Dr. Snuggles.
Did someone mention... I think I saw someone earlier mention... Where are we? Let me just... yeah, Buck Rogers, 25th Century. Wilma Deering. Oh, what an ass. What an ass. Those pants were sprayed on. There must have been. I mean, obviously, as a kid, I didn't think that, but now looking back, I think, bloody hell. One of my most controversial intros, Snuggles. Why were that controversial? Why was Snuggles controversial? I remember the intro for it. It was like an old guy on a pogo stick.
Maybe that was it.
That. Battle Beyond the Stars, yeah, that were a good film. With it would basically it was just a remake of Magnificent Seven, which is a remake of Seven Samurai. Battle Beyond the Stars. It had Richard Thomas in from John Boy Walton. George Peppard, and Robert Vaughn was in it as well. It wasn't the one some. Right, Doctor. Right, okay. It wasn't that type of Dr. Snuggles.
Okay. See, a lot of those things you mentioned are just a little bit too old for me.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
still a man.
Well, you know.
For me, it would probably be more late 80s and early 90s stuff.
Yeah, well, some of the people I've been chatting with, they're recollecting some of the later things like Turtles, which
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
DuckTales, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Tailspin.
Yeah.
Typically a lot of Disney Afternoon stuff as it's now termed.
Yeah. Which I didn't get a Magic Roundabout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one mentioned Backpuss,
Yeah, Bagpuss.
Paddington Bear,
Fat furry cat puss.
and Excelsior. I am ashamed at you. You haven't mentioned a single one of what I know are your favourites.
Why, what's his favourites?
Well, he's a big Anderson fan, so where's Thunderbirds?
Right.
Captain Scarlet and Stingray.
Well, he's mentioned Clangers.
Was that Anderson?
No, but it's puppetry.
Okay.
It's puppetry. Clangers.
Charlie the Cat. I don't remember Charlie the Cat, but I remember Charlie the Clown.
Charlie the Cat. Which one was Charlie the Cat now?
Charlie.
I don't know if I
Was
don't
it Charlie the Clown? Charlie Chalk.
Yeah, there's Charlie Chalk.
I remember Charlie Chalk.
Funny way of walking and a funny way of talking. It's what?
I had a poster of that on my bedroom wall.
All right.
Charlie Chalk.
Yeah. Yeah, Charlie Chalk, a funny way of walking and a funny way of talking.
That's fair
Charlie
enough.
Chalk.
That's fair enough.
But none of those are my era as such in terms of first airing. Oh, no, yeah, Terrorhawks, yeah. I remember Terrorhawks.
99. UFO.
Oh, yeah, Terrorhawks was my generation.
Oh, right, yes, I remember that.
Oh, yes, Charlie the Cat, yeah. Charlie says.
Charlie says.
Yeah. Would you like to come and see some puppies? No, but give us a tenner and I'll let you take me round back at Bike Sheds.
Because her name
My
was
mother
Zelda.
hated Terrorhawks because her name was Zelda.
Why? I love Zelda. I don't know what could possibly give that away. That I love Zelda. Yeah.
That's not Zelda, that's Link.
From The Legend of Zelda.
What else have we got? Space 1999. Yes, I used to love that as a kid. Space 1999. Yeah, David Prowse, Green Cross Code. Yeah, lots of stuff. And then there was the public information adverts, and Donald Pleasance did one about dark water. There's like this. He did the voiceover. And it was just this hooded figure, and that were creepy as fuck. But the thing was, those public information films, when I were a kid, they worked because we didn't do stupid stuff. You know, we didn't go climbing pylons. We didn't go playing about in quarries. We didn't shove stuff up his noses or in his ears. It's like, or swallow bloody guns.
I've no idea what you mean.
Yeah. Zelda means battle maiden in Hebrew. Right then. Now, do you remember, was it Terranauts?
I don't know that one.
Terranauts. I've seen Quatermass in the Pit, but that were on repeat. That were like
I haven't
a
seen
repeat.
it. That's on my my ever expanding list of things to watch. But I keep getting caught up with Korean, Thai, and Japanese dramas.
Yeah.
My latest one is Taxi Driver on Netflix.
All right.
And if you haven't watched it, you really need to watch it. It's amazing. And I really think you'd enjoy it as well.
Right. Is it about a taxi driver by any chance?
That's his cover.
Right, okay.
That's his cover, but it's got elements of A-Team, it's got elements of Batman, it's got elements of everything that you love.
Yeah.
And
I might take a look.
Really executed very, very well.
See, I'm watching a lot of documentaries at the moment. I tend to be doing that. I've finished watching Narcos, and
I remember you saying you were watching that.
Yeah, and about halfway through watching Narcos Mexico, but it's not holding me attention as much as the first series. You know, that were about I'm going to say El Wapo then, but that's bloody that's from Three Amigos. Is that one? I went to pictures to see that down in Dewsbury Cinema, Canon Cinema. But but I need to. I'm also still working my way through Miami Vice as well. I'm watching my Miami Vices.
You've been on with that for a while now.
I know, because I keep having a break and then going back to it. And Moonlighting as well. I've been watching Moonlighting. Loved that show as a kid.
That's Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah, BBC Two, 9 o'clock on a Monday. We're Moonlighting. I used to have to go and watch it upstairs on black and white telly because my dad were watching news at 9 o'clock downstairs.
On black and white telly.
Yeah, I had to go upstairs and watch it on black and white. And same with Young Ones. I used to have to go upstairs and watch Young Ones on black and white telly.
Okay. But you didn't have to watch V on the black and white telly?
No. I was allowed to stay up because that was on during the summer holidays of 83, I think it was 83 or 84. And it was on through the summer holidays, and I was allowed to stop up and watch that. I loved that, V. And then V Final Battle was the continuation of it. VTV series once are good. It once are great. But yeah, Excelsior's just saying V freaked him out. Yeah, that when you first saw that first scene where Diane opens her mouth right wide to swallow that guinea pig, that were a bit creepy.
Is that what?
Yeah, we're a guinea pig. She went, giving it like that with a guinea pig.
Okay.
It wasn't that kind of film. She was eating it. Yeah, but it does look funny now to
swallow?
watch it now. Yeah. I actually liked the remake that they did of V, but it got cancelled.
I've not seen it yet. I did because you lent me the miniseries.
I did, yes.
Yeah, and then there's what comes after it. There's another series, isn't there? A TV series, or is it? There's more to it, isn't there?
What's that? There's
V.
There's V the miniseries, then there's V the Final Battle, then there's V the TV series, which is on. It's on one at Back and Beyond channels on Virgin.
I did pick them up on DVD.
Yeah, there is a box set you can get with them all in.
That's right. Well, I got two. I got one with all the old stuff on it and one with the new stuff.
Right.
And they're waiting to be watched, but how long they're going to be there is another matter.
But the new series, the remake of V, like I said, it was good. It was good. But they cancelled it because it just they didn't. And what?
I'm guessing that's your.
Oh right. Yeah, bless him. Yeah, Morena Baccarin. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would definitely to a stub. You would. You know. But especially the way she looks in Deadpool as well, that long hair. But anyway, down boy. But yeah, like I say, the remake it got cancelled. It was and it had Jane Balder in it, playing the mother of Morena's character.
Okay.
And it also had Guy Singer in it as well. Not Guy Singer. That's bloody bloke from Hello Hello. What was it? Mark Singer. That's it. Mark Singer. Because he also played Beastmaster. Did Mark Singer.
Beastmaster?
Have you not seen Beastmaster?
No.
Oh, Beastmaster's quality film. It's a sword and sorcery film, a bit like Conan, but he plays a character called Dar, and he's able to. Does a
camel get punched?
It's what?
Oh no, not a camel. Does a horse get punched in it?
No. He's able to.
So it's nothing like Conan.
No, it's like Conan in the fact that it's like a loincloth sword and sorcery kind of film. Yeah.
I'm playing.
But yeah, he's able to kind of not control animals, but he can like see through their eyes and stuff. And he has a hawk with him, and I think it's either a lion or a tiger or something.
Okay.
They did two. The second one ain't so good, but the first Beastmaster film's quite good. And his sister is an actress called Laurie Singer, and she was in Footloose,
Right.
which is one of my favourite films. It's not my favourite film, but it's one of my favourite films.
Okay, you brought it up. What's your favourite film?
What's my favourite film ever?
Ever?
My favourite film, believe it or not, is Arthur with Dudley Moore.
Okay.
That's my favourite film. I don't think you knew that. But now you do.
You have mentioned it to me.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my favourite film. Is that Arthur? Love that film.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting. I was in a live chat of Blue Harvest Toys earlier. He's reviewing the Indiana Jones Blu-rays, and he was saying that the best film ever, uncontestable, is Raiders of the Lost Ark. I would put it in my top 10, but I wouldn't say it was my favourite ever. In fact, I preferred Last Crusade over Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right.
A bit more fun. But I could see why Raiders is a better film than Lost Ark. But I don't know what I could pick. I could put a lot of things in my top 10, probably 10. But I don't know what I'd actually pick as my number one.
No. It's a tough one. I mean, like I said, Arthur is my favourite film, but
have we lost Eddie?
What?
Oh,
no, I'm still here.
Oh, he's still here. He's back.
I'm still here.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd struggle with a top 10 because it'd be like I'd make a top 10, but then I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that film.
Yeah.
And then it'd have to swap
I think
about.
I would have to have trilogies as one.
Yeah. I think they'd probably end up being probably about maybe 15 or 20 films in my top 10. You know, I mean, the one that we disagree on, but RoboCop, the original RoboCop, would be in there.
I can see why.
But then there would be films. There'd be films like Fiddler on the Roof with Topol. That'd be in there.
You're going to disagree with this probably because I dare say you haven't seen it. But wow, that is a choice there, Guzzy. Battle Royale is amazing. It really is an outstanding film. I've not seen Venus Wars, but yeah, Battle Royale is brilliant. Let down by a very poor sequel. But so many films are.
Last Starfighter is a good film. Yeah, Last Starfighter is a good film. Star Chaser and Odd Sword in that one too. I'm not sure. I might have to look at that one.
I'm guessing that's Age of Extinction over The Last Night. Do you prefer those over the first 3 Transformers films?
Oh.
Yes, we've had this discussion before. You hate Sam Witwicky. Right, okay. Okay.
I don't dislike the Transformer films. I get that they do what they do, or they do what they need to do.
They brought an entire new audience to Transformers.
Yes, they have. Yes.
I think it's arguable that you would still have that franchise if it wasn't for those films doing that.
Yeah, I think I think Transformers probably would be
anything like it is now.
No, I think it would still be relying on the collectors.
Yeah.
Where now I think Transformers now is very much, it's back in the realms of a toy that collectors happen to collect.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But I do still quite enjoy, to a certain degree, the first one. From 2007, was it?
I like the first 3.
Right.
I don't hate Age of Extinction. Until is that the one where Optimus Prime starts riding Grimlock like a horse, or was that The Last Night?
I think that's is that Last Night? Is it?
I think it's Age of Extinction because that's when he first finds Grimlock.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and that's not Grimlock.
No,
Grimlock is
Grimlock.
not
Yeah, Grimlock.
a steed.
No, Grimlock would never have Optimus Prime riding him. No way. No way.
But yeah, last night for me is the worst of the lot.
And to be fair, there's no way that Prime would beat Grimlock anyway in a fight.
No,
so.
no. There's no way they'd fight.
Oh yeah, Grimlock could kick. Yeah, Grimlock could. If Grimlock could find a reason to fight him.
Fight. Why would they fight?
Because Grimlock is king. You see, what you got to understand is, from the original comics and to a lesser degree from the cartoon, Grimlock didn't like Optimus Prime.
Okay.
He considered him weak. Not weak as in strength weak, but he considered him weak because of his sort of like his compassion, for other life forms. Grimlock didn't. Grimlock were just. But again, I'm biased. Grimlock's my favourite, so him king.
I'm learning something about you, Excelsior. Are you a bit of a manga fan as well? I didn't realise that you had an interest in manga. I'm going to guess it's going to be the 80s manga. Do you keep up with anything that comes out now? Kiss Players? Do you know what that is, Eddie?
Kiss Players. Vaguely. I think it had something to do with, what I'm going to get in so much trouble for this, but this Japanese penchant for underage girls and kissing Transformers to unlock the power or something. I think that's what it is anyway. I've probably got that wrong, but it looked quite pervy. It were like, over-sexualized looking young girls and kissing robots. But I don't fully. It's not my thing. So I don't fully understand it. I did have one. I think I had. It was a Vinyl Tech one. It was Red Alert, so it was a repaint of the smokescreen mold. The alternators and Vinyl Tech. And it was Red Alert. It was odd because all the others came in vehicle mode, in like oblong packaging, where this Red Alert came in a tall package and it was in robot mode. Right. And it had like a policewoman with it, a little policewoman figurine. That's about it. That's about my knowledge on it. I saw some of the imagery from it, and I just thought, it looks a bit dodgy, does that? So I just didn't bother with it.
Apologies, Excelsior. I was literally, I made an assumption that back in the day, manga was manga and anime wasn't really heard of until like Pokemon came along, and then they started really using that terminology as animated version of manga is anime, whereas manga are books. And knowing that you are a tad older than me, or I believe you're just a tad older than me, I thought that you'd have been more of the manga is the art form in animation rather than anime. You're quite right, and yeah, you're more anime than manga. That's what I thought. And Guzzy, the other way around. So you're not into anything more recent. Okay.
Pat Labour. Yeah, Kiss Players, bad. Yeah, fun. Yeah. I was just reading them comments there.
We might have had a couple of F-bombs on this channel, but I think we're going to leave this topic well alone.
Macross.
I've seen all them.
I've only seen. Well, it's only that Macross Plus that I've seen.
Yeah, I've seen Akira, and I'm going to get so much hate for this. I find it massively overrated. I think the first 20 minutes or so, which are the bike racing and the fights, the bar fight type, well, not bar fight, street fight type thing, that is all fantastic. It's really well executed, very well animated, and it looks stunning. It still stands up today. But then it just it loses its mind, and I think that you need to. For me, I think you need to be taking something or be high on something to get away with that. Because I'm fairly sure the writers were high on something that they were doing it.
Right. I enjoyed Ghost in the Shell. You know, the film with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
I enjoyed that.
That's more controversial than what I've just said.
I don't give monkeys. I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it because I know nothing about it. So
Well,
I
I
just
find the
enjoyed
hit
the film.
that film gets to be really strange. People call it whitewashing. It's what's that?
Kaneda Tetsuo. It's Excelsior's to me. I don't know what that means.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Ah.
Have you just deleted all these messages?
I have. Yeah, I was trying to block that Nightbot, but I ended up blocking it. How do I get him back?
Nesbit.
How do I get
No,
him
you've
back?
hidden him. Just unhide him.
How?
I've no idea. There should be a click on his name. You click on his
He's
name.
gone. Oh.
No, he's on chat here. It just says Excelsior's domain was hidden.
Right, on mine it says blocked.
Right, well just unblock him. Just click on his name.
There's nothing to click on. It's greyed out.
No, either on his name or his profile picture.
There isn't one. It's gone from my StreamYard. Let me have a nip over to YouTube and see if we can get him back on there. Apologies. Come on, wakey wakey.
There, I've unhid him.
Have you?
Yeah, so he should be back. Are you still there, Excelsior?
Oh my word, I can't believe I've done this.
Yeah, he's there.
Right, well, he's there.
Yeah.
He's back. Yeah.
Initiating
so
tachyon
sorry
sweep.
about that, Excelsior.
Is that an inverse
I'm trying
tachyon
to get
sweep?
moving.
Yeah. Is that an inverse tachyon pulse at at the same place in 3 separate time frames?
Deactivated. I like it. Right, where were we? Yeah, I was
saying that I liked Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson.
I was talking about the controversial aspect. People were complaining at the time that they were whitewashing the Japanese characters by casting Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
I would argue that manga writers are very, very clever, and they know that they are not appealing to just a tiny little island in the world, and that they are appealing to the whole world. And if you look at any of their covers or any of their artwork, they are not coloured. They are not people of colour. They are not slightly tanned. They are already drawn and coloured in a very white ethnic.
Well, so some of the stuff I've seen, they look almost European or borderline European.
And also that character's a robot anyway. It's not actually a living being. There's a consciousness put into it, which is a Japanese character. But it's one of those things that the of all the things to complain about, that was not one of them.
Maybe what people should do is just watch stuff instead of complaining about it. You know, or just think to yourself, you know, it's like, if you don't like something, fair enough. Nobody's interested in your opinion. I mean, it's even everything that we've talked about tonight. It's meaningless.
It's our own opinion. It's our
absolutely, completely meaningless. You know.
You're quite right, Guzzy. Akira is 6 volumes about that thick.
Yeah.
In terms of manga, and the not A4, but like American comic book size mangas at that.
Yeah.
It were condensed into what? 75 minutes, 90 minutes, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, it was condensed heavily, but it didn't leave me wanting to go and read the whole lot.
Right. I mean, there was I don't know which one it was. There was a Death Note film on Netflix that I enjoyed as well.
Death Note.
Yeah.
You know, this is interesting.
Really?
This is interesting because, again, it's one of those that people said America had destroyed, or Hollywood had destroyed when they adapted it. And I've not read the manga, but I have watched the anime. And the anime is outstanding. It is probably my favourite of all the animes. And they managed to condense everything down into a movie feature length timescale.
Yeah.
And I think that everything that you need is in that film.
Right.
And I wanted to talk to someone who'd not read the manga and hadn't watched the anime to see whether or not they enjoyed that movie. Obviously, you said that you did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, yeah.
The only people that don't like it are those that are lovers of the original. But yeah, right. I thought it was a really good...
Guzzy's just saying on here about... He mentioned Constantine. Yeah, I enjoyed the Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
I thought it was an enjoyable film. And then his next comment is mentioned Alita Battle Angel. I like that film as well. And I think finally, I don't know if it's been 100% confirmed, but I read an article the other day that apparently they've greenlit for a sequel to it.
At long last, I heard that as well. Yeah.
So, I enjoyed Alita Battle Angel. I've got that on Blu-ray. I've got Ghost in the Shell on Blu-ray. That sits on my shelf with. There's Ghost in the Shell, Alita Battle Angel, Ready Player One, Tron Legacy, Tron, Pixels. I don't care what anyone says. I love Pixels. I love it. It's a great film. It's fun. It's just fun. It's silly fun, and I love it. So yeah, all me kind of like me 80s retro video gamey kind of stuff. That's on the shelf with them. Sort of like 80s gamey video stuff.
You're not into 80s video gaming, are you?
Oh, I don't know. I might brush with it occasionally.
Alluding to what, Excelsior? Is that regarding the Death Note thing?
Alluding to what? I swear to God, peace from the same pod.
That's fair enough. I did enjoy Alita, but I wasn't as blown away with it as most other people tended to be. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I've seen worse films.
I think I do recall at the time it came out and when I watched it. Guzzy. Right, you see, we do need to talk because he's just put there. He's got a ZX80 on a Spectrum 40K and a Spectrum Plus 2 and a Toshiba MSX. Somebody had a Toshiba MSX who I spoke to recently, and I can't remember who it was, and they sold it.
It was alluding to Alita.
Oh, yes, alluding to Alita 2, yeah.
Sorry, you did mention Studio Ghibli earlier on when we were talking about manga and anime, and yes, the Studio Ghibli stuff, 90% of it amazing, and the other 10% still very good.
But yeah, Guzzy, we'll have to talk. I have a plethora of Spectrums.
He does.
I do.
He has far too many.
I have a lot. There's a lot just over there. I think I've got about 8 or 9 boxed ones.
In my house, I have 11 Nintendo Switches. Even I think he has too many Spectrums.
But you can never have enough Spectrums. I have this white 48K, black 48K. Equality. Blue, bit of blue. I've got Spectrum Plus. I've got my plus twos here just out of shop. That's my everyday Spectrum. And I've got a toast rack. I've got a boxed minty complete toast rack. So that's, if I ever need money, that's what gets sold.
It says with 12 vintage carded Star Wars figures behind.
Yes, with Yes, my sealed Palatoy unpunched Star Wars figures. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. I will tell you what they are, though, and I think it's probably obvious what they are. I'll show you the Stormtrooper. The retro collection figures. Retro collection figures on reproduction Palatoy cards. And because that's what I remember from my childhood. The Star Wars Palatoy cards. So I wanted the first 12 on Palatoy cards. And buying the retro figures and putting them on them cards is a hell of a lot of a cheaper way to do it.
I can't believe he didn't show you the vinyl cape Jawa, actually, but there we go.
Oh, yes, the vinyl cape Jawa. Let's, yes. My vinyl caped Jawa. Look at that beauty, yeah? Who says a vinyl cape Jawa's rare to get hold of?
Mint condition as well.
I know it is mint, yeah.
In fact, anyone would think that had just come out of the factory this week.
I know. And look, it's Sand People, not Tusken Raider. It's Sand People.
Yeah, that's because they are non-binary. They are them. There's more than one personality in that figure.
Are they?
Yeah, that's why they're people and not person.
They're people, yes. Sand person, Sand People. The collective. They're a collective.
Yeah, so, yeah. I have a little pension pot, Excelsior. Whenever something comes in that I get for a ridiculously low price that I can't justify selling because I'd feel like I was ripping someone off.
So I've just got theme tune of Only Fools and Horses going through my head.
I stick it aside. I don't get a pension through work. I don't have my own pension being self-employed. I could set one up, but I don't have one. So the way I see it is anything that comes in that's a gem that I get for next to nothing, I just stick aside, and that's my nest egg for when I retire. We've all got
that's accepting that it will. This is something that...
Yeah, definitely.
This is something I want to discuss. I've got it planned. I just need to get around to it. And it is a chat about... There's a few various subjects I want to do, like a live stream chat with. And one of them is this whole thing about the value of collectibles and you know, what they're going to be worth in the future. Because...
Well, how about we pencil that in for episode 2?
Yeah. I think that would be a good idea.
Attack of the Moans.
Attack of the Moans. So, let's see, Guzzy. I've seen your shop. That's a hell of a pension. Is Guzzy a local chap to us? Or?
He's not, no. I met him at the Bolton Toy Fair.
All right.
And a few days later, we decided to make a trip. I believe he came up with his motorbike.
All right, motorbike. Cool.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you're from the land of Brum.
Oh, it's a Brumoi. The
By
Brumoi.
the time we reach pension ages, we'll be paying in bottle caps.
Paying in bottle caps.
I don't know, because they'll all be... will we have bottle caps come then?
Yeah. It's funny, on Collector's Archive, I've interviewed a few people from Birmingham area. And the temptation is so, you know, to start like slipping, like, you're all right there, you know. It's like no, don't do it, do it.
All right, no, he's from Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent. There's one chap was from Dudley,
Right.
and I used to know a few people from Dudley.
Fallout reference. Oh, bottle caps.
Ah, right.
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
Well, but you also get bottle caps as well in Resident Evil 4.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, you collect the bottle caps when you go onto the shooting ranges, when you go meet the merchant.
Yeah, but on that you also save your progress on a typewriter.
It's what?
I said on that game you also save your progress on a typewriter.
You do, yes. Excellent game. Excellent game. I love Resident Evil. I've still got my GameCube.
Oh,
and I've
here we
still got
go.
my GameCube version. That done to talk proper that as what where does me dog?
I'm glad you
It's
said
not
that.
so far off. You might get honorary Yorkshireman status with that. That's the thing. Until I started doing these videos, didn't realise how northern I sound. It's just like, do I really sound like that?
It's not you that sounds northern. It's them that sound southern. True fact.
Well, there's no wrong. I love dialects. I used to spend a lot of time in Cornwall as a kid, and listening to Cornish accents, brilliant.
No More Heroes. That's a video game, isn't it? Let's save screen. Sure, No More Heroes is a video game.
When I No More Heroes, I just think of the song No More Heroes from Clash. No more heroes anymore.
Yes, it's a video game. Am I right in thinking that they're waiting on a new one of these coming out on the Switch, or has it just come out on the Switch? Possibly 3.
Because the toilet.
Yeah, 3 is out on the Switch, yeah. I thought so. Yeah, to save the game, he goes to the toilet. Is it a data dump?
Data dump. Captain's log. No, you see, you're just lowering tone now. You're bringing it down. Which game's that then?
He brought the toilet into this, not me.
I do. Yeah, but what game's that he goes to the toilet to save?
No More Heroes, I'm guessing.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a data dump.
Yeah, it's just it's typewriter and Resident Evil 4. But at least these games, I mean, when, Spectrum games didn't have game saves.
No, they didn't.
That was it, You had your 3 lives and that were it. Manic Miner.
There's a new game out for me on Friday.
The what?
There's a new game out for me on Friday.
What? Oh, new Zelda game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. I wish I could say that I was excited about it, but I'm not.
Yeah. Excelsior just mentioned Duke Nukem. Played that a lot in early 90s, Duke Nukem. Come get some. Damn, I'm good.
I need to get my Amiga 500 set up.
Yeah. But I can't play it anymore. I can't play it because I get motion sickness with it. It gives me a headache.
Right.
And I'd love to. I used to love Duke Nukem and Doom. Transformers on Spectrum, yeah, it was an awful game, but at the time, it's all we had. And it was great because it made the little...
I got that A500 Mini for my birthday.
Yeah.
And someone's done me a USB drive.
Yeah.
In the back of it, and I think he said there's 3,000 games on there.
Right.
You don't need to hack it or chip it or anything like that. You just play straight from the pen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really need to do that because Dalek Attack's on it, and I've wanted to play that for so long. It's not gonna live up to my expectations.
No. Well, they had that game on Spectrum.
Yes, it is. It's Spectrum and Amiga, I think it was.
Yeah.
Just those two.
But games to play on there, you need to play RoboCop, you need to play Batman '89, and you need to play Brutal Deluxe, Speedball 2. Brutal Deluxe.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's an awesome... I love that game. That is an awesome game. It's not my favourite game ever. My favourite game ever is Manic Miner.
I know.
That's the best game ever made, is that. I tell you what I was playing. I sent you a screenshot of it other night. A bloke in Spain has done a Mandalorian game for the Spectrum. And I was playing that on the other night. And it even looks like him. This little character jumping about. It looks like he's got his T-shape on the helmet.
But, what was it you wanted to talk about next time?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to make a note of it.
Yeah, about the price of collectibles, about whether collectibles are going to keep the prices as time goes on. I have a theory. And then there's also stuff like...
Oh, that song's just gone in my head now.
What?
From Buffy.
Oh. What else was it? Oh, and also as well about... this is more so like on the plastic figures, but whether they're going to last as well. Whether they're going to last. because plastic deteriorates, and I think some of the plastic that some of the toys are made from, I don't think it's going to last.
We're seeing it now with Star Wars figures anyway.
Yeah.
We're already seeing it. And we're seeing how brittle packaging is becoming.
I've got three. This is my everyday Atari. Sorry. I like my retro gaming.
We are at the peak of collecting right now.
I mean, look at this. I mean, I've even got
Quite possibly.
cassette recorders, so you can load the Spectrum games. Not just that. I've got a Dixon's one. I've got a Bush one. That's a newer one, is that?
Okay.
This is a beauty, is this?
Well done, Excelsior!
I just bought Zoidzilla. Cool. Just hang on, see if I can get it to camera. Just hang on a
I don't want
second.
to beat you up at all, honest.
Listen to clunk on this.
That takes me long.
That's a proper clunk on a tape machine, is that?
What was that?
Is it a boxed one, Excel? Your Zoidzilla. But he sent me that link for them comics anyway, so I'll take a look
good
at
lad.
that.
Good lad.
I'll take a look at that
In
later.
fact, I will drop a message to Guzzy. Where's your email?
Just bought a Sony Walkman to play an audio through. Oh, cool. Oh, it looks close, but it's quite clear. What's that? Give it 10 years, and I think the nostalgia for 80s, 90s toys will move on to whatever that kids. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it will. Yeah, it'll move. It's like a sliding scale. It'll just move up. There was a box one, but the box was damaged. Right. I was just trying to think. Did I show you? Did I show Excelsior? Did I show you that boxed Zoidzilla of mine? I can't remember if I did or not on video. I mean, there's photos of it up on Instagram anyway. Yeah, they did a Zoids audio book. It was I think they reprinted the story for the special. It was like the namer, and it was going around like saying the names of all the Zoids, like Spineback or Spider Zoid or things like that. But where's Guzzy? Oh yeah, Guzzy. So this Spectrum isn't a spec. Well, it is, but it isn't. It's a Spectrum case, blue and white, but it's a modified Raspberry Pi that's in it that runs the Fuse emulator, so it'll hook up HDMI on telly, and so that's me Spectrum for when I'm allowed to play on big telly downstairs.
Speaking of Excelsior's channel,
Yeah.
It's worth having a look, anybody, if you haven't already checked out Excelsior's domain, because he does have some pretty cool videos.
So yeah, Legend of Heroic Combat. Yeah.
He's even done an episodic review of every single episode of Babylon 5.
Oh, right.
And I think he's now done all of the spin-offs from it as well, or at least the TV movies. I don't think he's done Crusade. Have you done Crusade?
No.
I think he's done Crusade.
I managed the first series of Babylon 5.
Oh, you need to watch it.
I watched the first series. My favourite character were, is it Shakar or
Jakar.
Jakar, yeah. Andreas Katsula's character.
Right, yes. R.I.P.
Yeah, he's passed on. He's shuffled off the mortal coil. But yeah, because I think it was still... Was it Bruce Boxleiter that was still in it?
That's right.
At that point.
Bruce Boxleiter.
Yeah. Tron.
Like
I knew him as Tron.
Yes, I was watching your video about that the other day. Yesterday, I think I saw it.
An animated film?
Yeah, that's what Mr. Straczynski has declared. That he's
What, Babylon 5?
Yes.
All right.
whether or not it's going to be a continuation or a reimagining is still up in the air, I believe.
What's Guzzy say? I'd like to see if my computer's web. Guzzy, your Spectrums, you can do what's called a composite mod on, and they will work on modern TVs through the AV socket at the back. If you, I'm happy to talk you through it. If you want to message us out, I'll let you know what you need to do on that. Alternate timeline. Oh, right. Yeah. So no, I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. If I do it,
I would say Babylon 5 is TV writing at its peak.
Right.
At least the first 4 series.
Yeah.
And that's not saying anything negative about the 5th season. He originally had a plan, and I'm sure Excelsior will tell me if I'm wrong here. But Straczynski originally had a plan for 5 series. And as he was getting towards the 4th, they told him there weren't going to be a 5th, and to wrap it up in the 4th. So he condensed what he wanted to do, wrapped it up in the 4th, and because it did so well, people enjoyed it, they let him have a 5th. So the 5th it felt tagged on because it was tagged on.
Right.
But it ended up setting up some brilliant things that then led to other stuff, to be honest with you. And we're still waiting for an end to that.
Right. I might see if I can try and give it a go. It was the same with Stargate. I think I only watched the first season of Stargate.
He calls himself a sci-fi fan.
I just watch what I watch, you know.
But yeah, Excelsior says season 1. He's right. It is a little bit of an uphill struggle, and when you get into season 2, your captain or your commander, he's not even in it anymore. In Sinclair, it's now Sheridan, Bruce Leitner, and you only find out through flashbacks or chats with other members of staff as to what actually happened.
Sorry,
Firefly.
No, I have seen Firefly. I was one of those that was like, why the fuck have you cancelled this? You know.
I don't think it's aged as well as a lot of people do. As well as a lot of people think it's aged. I think it's done the typical Joss Whedon thing, which is dated very quickly.
Yes, it does. Certain episodes do feel dated, and I think that is down to some of Joss Whedon's writing style. It's like with Buffy, shiny. Years ago, it's probably going to be maybe 6-7 years ago. I went through and started watching all the Buffys again, and I really, really struggled with season 1 and 2. I mean, season one, it's more the film quality that they used as well, because it looks really dark and grainy, and I don't think it was good film stock they used. And so, like, some of the stories, and it was just really difficult. I started enjoying season 3. I think it was my favourite episode was Doppelgangland, where you got to see sexy Willow. Willow was always my favourite. Buffy she was just too whiny. She was a bitch. She was just like, fuck off, you know. Just they were all Willow for me. But that said, what I did find when I did start watching it again, and I think I'd struggle to watch it now, is it kind of like, it feels a bit awkward being the age that I am now, watching that when the high school kids, because it's like, I just think it's like it's an odd thing. It's an odd thing. You see, at least with Angel's a bit more adult orientated.
It is, but it's still dated quite well. Not well, badly.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the story arc when they went to Caritas, when they went to Lawns, home dimension. Which, incidentally, I don't know if people know this, but Lorne's character is full. He was named after the actor called Lorne Green.
Yeah.
You know, because he's called Lorne and he's green. And it's like, you know, who played Adama in the original Battlestar Galactica? Angel was like Torchwood.
Torchwood was like Angel. Angel did come first.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Well, it's because he don't have the stamina or lasting power. Well, he can't, because if he does, he turns evil.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's a Whedon thing. It's a Whedonism. I mean, I remember watching Avengers when that came out, and I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a masterpiece. How they managed to bring everything together in one film, I thought it was great. Within a year, I felt that film had dated. By the time I watched it again on Blu-ray when it came out, I was like,
yeah. Just sorry, I'll break it. Joshy Boy has just put up about making YouTube, and I all I say is don't spend money. I use ClipChamp, and it's free. ClipChamp is free. If you want to pay, I think it's $9.99 a month, and that's if you don't have a subscription to 365 Microsoft 365.
Oh, Eddie's gone.
Who has?
Well, I'll reiterate what he was saying anyway. ClipChamp, it's part of the Microsoft package. So if you've got anyone in your family that's already using like Microsoft Word and Excel and stuff like that, then they'll have access to ClipChamp. And ClipChamp is brilliant. It's got it all on there. Everything that you need, really. If you're wanting to add to it, there is a $9.99 a month thing that you can pay for. Is it a month?
Yeah, well, you can pay $9.99 a month, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not contracted into that, so you can just pay a month at a time if you want.
But no, you've seen my regular videos, I assume, and I do everything in there in ClipChamp, and I don't pay for it. The intro videos I did do via another one, Video Bolt.
Yeah.
Video Vault. Bolt.
Video Bolt.
And they have a load of templates that you can add your own logo to. The only thing you'd really need to get is a logo, and that's only if you want to do like an ident at the beginning of your videos at the end.
Yeah.
If you're not bothered about doing that, then you don't even need to worry about a logo.
No.
You can just go straight into it. I think what we're doing now is via a company called StreamYard. And it's the first time I've used it, so it's a new one on me.
Yeah.
Again, they have a free option.
Yeah.
But I think you get a lower quality picture.
Well, it's 720. On the free option, it's 720. But if you go...
Well, that's what I'm using now. So you get the same quality that I'm using now. But instead of having Cosmic Toys up in the corner, I would have their logo.
Yeah. Unless you're clever in the editing suite. Unless you're clever in the editing suite.
Unless you're clever in the editing suite, you can edit stuff like that out afterwards. But obviously, you can't do that in a live stream.
No, not in live stream, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are ones, Joshy. ClipChamp, Video Bolt.
Videos of. What do I need to know?
What's he doing? Joshy boy, what videos
Excelsior
are doing?
is recommended HitFilm.
HitFilm. Is that a free one, Excelsior?
And for filming as well.
360 pics webcam unregistered Bandicam. What's that? Where?
Is that the webcam that you're using, is it? So assuming
gaming videos. Joshy Boy's doing gaming videos.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, StreamYard has an option to link up to your gaming for your gaming videos. But like I say, if you're on the free one, then you will have the StreamYard logo in the top corner. Story mode games mostly, or you can record offline. I mean, to be fair, if most webcams that you buy, or you can just buy screen capture software, or even download free apps that do screen captures if you're playing games, and you can record stuff like that and then just edit it.
Is there not a copy card or something that you use for gaming videos? It records what's on your screen, doesn't it?
It depends. I mean, on Xbox One, so I'm still rocking an old Xbox One and a PS4. But
right over my head, then does it?
old webcam joke, right? There's an option to record your screen on the Xbox One, so you can record what you're doing while you're playing. It doesn't record you; it just records what you're doing on the screen and what you're playing.
Yeah.
But if you're wanting to do
Capture
the whole,
card. There we go. He's come up with it himself. Capture card.
if you wanted to do the picture-in-picture thing, then you have a webcam
film
and
yourself as well, don't you?
Yeah.
And for filming, for this right now, I've got a webcam, a Logitech webcam that's just stuck to the top of my monitor, and I believe Eddie's got the same one.
Yeah.
But for the regular videos that I put up for like the What Did I Buy and the delivery videos, just use that.
Cool.
Just record with that. Yourself a little tripod, and if you've got a bit of spare money, then maybe get a gimbal, they call it. But otherwise, just a tripod will do the job.
Yeah. Did you like the little advert vid I did for you today?
Yeah, I thought that was quite fun. Yeah, I did quite like that.
I'm getting more into that. I mean, I'm enjoying the editing side more than anything at the minute, and just putting stuff together. That's really good. It's that's a rabbit hole we're going down.
Right.
What's that? OBS Studio. I think I've got that on my desktop, but I haven't opened it up yet. I downloaded quite a few different software apps and stuff, but I ended up just sticking with Clipchamp.
Yeah. Excelsior also mentions Twitch, which if you're doing video games things, definitely go on Twitch. But if you go through this, I think that's a paid for feature actually. But yeah, if you go through StreamYard, you can also stream to YouTube and multiple social media platforms at the same time. In fact, this particular video is going out through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. This is my first.
Oh, is it going? All right.
Well,
we may have had people
Facebook video as well, actually.
Yeah, we may have had people commenting on Facebook.
No, all of the comments would be coming through on here, and all of them are showing as YouTube. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I believe so. Anyway,
is it going out on your Cosmic Toys?
I've got a little green tick at the top saying Facebook's activated on here, so I assume so. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just going to log on and have a look. Is it going out on your Cosmic Toys channel, or is it going out as you?
It's going out on my personal one, but yeah, there's no comments on the Facebook one. I didn't think there would be, to be honest with you. Like I said, it should have all come through on here anyway, because that way you can add them to the screen like we have been doing.
Yeah. Right.
It's been quite educational, actually, is this?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. Write this down for a subject.
You're very welcome, Joshy boy.
Yeah. No worries, Joshy boy.
Are you anyone that I know, Joshy boy? Are you someone who's not made it into the shop? I've got an inkling. I think I know who you are, but I'm not 100% certain. Go on, Eddie. Ed, what am I writing down?
Multiples.
Multiples?
Yeah, buying multiples.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's something. No,
yes, I think I know who you are.
This is more related to some of the when I were getting these retro collections. Something cropped up, and I thought, I'll keep that in my mind bank to discuss at a later date.
Okay.
Multiples, army building. Yeah, no, we'll save it. We'll park that one for a minute, Guzzy. We'll get around to that.
I don't know if we're going to do this as a weekly thing or a fortnightly thing or a monthly thing. I don't want to wear it out too quickly and just jump in and say we'll do it weekly, but maybe.
I think monthly would be pretty good, especially if they're going to be this long. If they're going to be this long, I think probably monthly would be good.
Yeah. Well, as Guzzy said earlier, if I can find it.
Yeah, I was going to say after an hour and 22 minutes, glad we could keep the chat going. Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah.
2.5 hours later.
I mean, what time is it? 11:45.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Quarter to 12.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm going to go have a bag of crisps.
Bag of Nice.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Cholesterol? What's that?
Death. Death foil packet. Yeah, you're exactly who I thought you were, Joshy boy. I never knew your name. You've been coming in for years, and the picture you've got in your profile there, it's that what made me think it was who you are, but that's obviously an older picture.
Guzzy's going, yeah, we'll see you later, Guzzy.
All right,
Catch you later.
Good night, Guzzy. You take care. See you next time. Yeah. I think we should probably bring it to an end as well.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, like I say, I'm hungry.
I've got work in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So, yeah, you have got some work at the moment, haven't you?
I bloody work.
How else do you afford all those Palitoy carded figures?
Cheeky bugger. Yeah. How do I have all these mint in box, mint cut on card, sealed, unpunched Palitoy Star Wars figures? What's that? What's that Facebook group? That Star Wars Facebook group?
Narrow it down.
The one that the sort of like utter mentalists on. What's it called? Is it Bantha Tracks? Not Bantha Tracks. What is it?
Echo Base.
Echo Base. That's it. I'm going to request to be a member of Echo Base. I'm going to put them on.
You've got no chance after this video goes live.
I don't give a monkeys. I'll be like, I want to join your group. I want to show off my figures. I don't give a monkeys. Nobody's going to tell me how to collect or what to collect. And anyone who allows themselves to be told how to collect is just a moron. They're idiots. You know.
Well, I've still got no idea why I was banned from those groups.
Well,
No
I mean that could be something. That could be another topic as well. Collecting what you want to collect and do it. You know, the whole reproduction parts or stuff like that. No issue with it. If you've got something and you want it,
you're not getting in them groups.
yeah, you want something, you go get it and have it. Excelsier's the last. He is, yeah. Excelsier's the last watcher. So yeah, we'll bring it to a close then, shall we?
Well, thank you for sticking with us to the bitter end, Excelsior.
Yes, thank you, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's just been nice to know that there's folk out there that listen to a grumpy old bastard. You know?
Oh no, someone else has just joined back in.
Have there?
Yeah.
No, there's another two just joined.
Wow.
Well, whoever it is, sorry, but we're finishing up now.
Finishing now, you'll have to go back and watch it from the beginning.
I know. I need to get downstairs and have my Horlicks and my barley sugar.
Ovaltine.
And my Ovaltine. I'm gonna pull curtains on, get settled for night.
Yes. Yeah. Fair enough.
So, but no, right. So, everyone, thank you very much. Catch you later on. No doubt I'll speak to you maybe tomorrow or day after, Gareth. Anyway.
Probably. You'll disturb me while I'm working, while I'm trying to add a load of stuff to the website.
Yeah, and don't answer your phone.
I have to pass on that sometimes, don't I? You know that.
Yeah, just don't answer it.
I'm rude then.
No, you're not.
I am rude.
That's what I don't get. You answer the phone. What do you want? I'm busy. Well, don't answer the phone then.
Well, I don't answer if I'm serving a customer.
No, you don't. And I wouldn't expect you to. Well, it depends what customer it is. Then I can listen to them.
Yeah, you seemed to have fun last time, didn't you?
Yeah, listen to Dewsbury's Finest.
Yeah, that chap came back again today, but we're not going there. We're not going there.
Yeah.
We're not going there. So, do you want to pimp yourself out before we go?
Oh, well, I haven't got it fully set up yet. I mean, me OnlyFans, you know. Transformers and nipples, you know. Megatrans.
Okay, well, it says it right under Vaults of Iacon there.
Yes,
where you can
right,
find it.
okay, yes, thank you. Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I'm Ed, Vaults of Iacon. That's my website there, that's on the screen. Can you see? No, wrong way. It's there. I can't get this. Yeah, it's there. That's the website.
It's got a mind of its own.
I know. I'm on Facebook, but I don't. Well, I'm on Instagram, and then Instagram automatically posts to Facebook.
Yes.
and that's it on YouTube. I'm not on Twitter or all like that. So yeah, just Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I've got a website that is in dire need of updating because I do all this content and I haven't put it on the website yet. Although I did put my half-assed review of Make Toys Endgame on there. Do you like that?
Review. I do.
Half-assed review.
Half-assed review. I think that should be your videos, though.
It's on my notepad.
Yeah.
It's on my notepad. Is that, because I do watch a lot of reviews, and a lot of them I personally feel do go on a bit too longer than what they need to. So that's where the half-assed thing came. I just thought, and plus I genuinely couldn't be bothered. I just thought, well, I know what I want to say. I'm just going to get straight to the point and just say it and do it. And I thought, right, it's an half-assed review. There we go. But it worked. It's nice to have a hit now and again. But yeah, right, okay, time to go.
All right then. And
Right.
You probably already know this, but you can find me at Facebook at Cosmic Toys, Instagram, and now Twitch and YouTube at Cosmic Toyman. And if you want to support, I've got to say this because it's what all the YouTubers say. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by heading over to. See if I can get this right. No, there, that way. CosmicToys.co.uk. Adding to your collection from there for a change.
You need to improve your fingering technique.
I do. I've not had a right lot of opportunity to work on my fingering.
The PlayStation,
Yeah.
the bowling ball.
Fair enough. All right then, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like and subscribe on me as well.
Subscribe, ring my ding-a-ling.
If you're going to do all that pimping stuff,
Yeah. See you later. Take care.
Good night, everyone. Thanks a lot. Take care.